All right, all right, all right. It looks like we are live. What is going on? Welcome back to another Bri Hive Live. Tonight, we are doing a members live stream. So that is going to be fun. I forgot to do it. Oh, yeah. Yay. So what does that mean? The members can join the live stream, and we are going to be talking about what seems to be our favorite case on this channel, which is Jeanette Braun and Lauren, the Mortician, suing other TikTokers. But Kimmie went ahead and found more lawsuits against Jeanette Braun, too. I thought we only had one, but there are two, and they are live reactions because I just got them backstage. So I have no idea what is going on with them, but the titles alone sound a little crazy to me. So I'm just going to read it off. I'm not going to read it off. I'm just going to read what Kimmie titled them. We got a robocall lawsuit going on, and then we have an Etsy lawsuit going on. So I don't know what's going on with Jeanette Braun and what's going on in those lawsuits, but we are going to be talking about that. And then we have some updates going with the Jeanette Braun and Lauren, the Mortician lawsuit, moving forward with the defendants responding to the first amended complaint. And like I said before, this is a members live stream. So if you are a member of the channel, if you check the membership tab, I literally just posted the link to go ahead and join us live. Just make sure that you have headphones so that we can reduce the noise, and make sure we're turning on our camera so that we can get on the stage. Oh, I just lost who I had in the background, but hopefully they will come back and we can start having the members join the live stream. If you guys are watching on the live stream, hello, make sure you drop it in the chat so that we know that you are here live. We're going to say hi to everyone in a little bit. And if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and drop in the comment section and let us know that you're watching on a replay. And I have not been good at responding to comments on the replay, so I am sorry about that. I need to jump back on that and jump back on to timestamps. Let's see what we're going to make our like goal today. Let's see how the Bri Hive is doing so far. We have 18 likes with 24 people watching live. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It does help out the algorithm. And I messed up today, and I thought I posted the thumbnail when I posted the live stream, but apparently I did not. So we're going to need a little bit more help pushing this out into the algorithm so that people know that what we're talking about, because I finally actually put the thumbnail up. So again, what is our like goal going to be? Let's go ahead and make our like goal for the live stream 100. I know I'm shooting for the stars, but hopefully we can get there. So if you hit the like button, please do. Like I said, it does help us out in the algorithm, and we would like more friends. So I am going to get ready. Oh, I forgot to say, we opened a new tier to the membership. So, we have the Bri Hive membership, which is $4.99 a month. That supports the channel. You get to join the live streams. And then we just released a tier, kind of tier 1, that I'm calling the larva Bri Hive. The little baby Bri Hive. It is $1.99 per month. And you basically get to do the same things except for join the live stream. But I also just posted the link to the live stream in all the memberships. So technically tonight, even if you are a larva Bri Hive, you can still join the live stream if you want to talk on camera tonight and give your opinion. So that is my little intro. Let me go ahead and roll Bossy the Bee so that we can start saying hello to everyone. And like I said, y'all, don't be shy. Don't be shy. I don't even know what we're covering today, okay? I am about to be up here confused. Kimmie's not even in the backstage. I don't mean to put you on blast, but I don't know where she is, and I'm going to need her help. So y'all tell Kimmie to get here like right now. And actually, I don't really have my, oh no, I do have my phone. I was like, I don't even have my life together. I don't even have my phone. What's going on? Anyways, let's go ahead and roll Bossy the Bee. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit all over the place tonight. It's Thursday. I'm ready for Friday to hit. I'm ready for the weekend. Like I said, if you are watching in the live chat, make sure you say hello so that we can say hi to you. We have Alexis Carney, a member of the channel. Hello, welcome in, saying so excited for this. Well, I hope you are joining in on the live stream. Nissa Howard saying hi. Bri, also a member of the channel. Welcome back into the live stream. We got Sheezy, member of the channel, saying hi. All so excited. excited. Welcome in, welcome in. We don't have any members in the back. We're waiting on you. Well, maybe I should start the cases and then people would join. Mama Bear of One says, We'll be ninja watching, trying to get my Sims 4 to run after a computer update, was filming a Let's Play for my family for Facebook, and am required to update took over. I have not played The Sims in so long, but I hope it is going wonderful for you. We got Tanya D saying, hey, Bri in chat. Hello, welcome in. Nice to have you back. A member and moderator of the channel let us know that she hopes that new faces join the members live stream, which I hope so too, but hopefully Tanya also joins. I have not seen her lovely face in a while. Tanya D also says, thanks for hitting the like button early. Bossy B appreciates you. Yeah, she works hard. She works hard and she definitely appreciates everyone that comes. Katie Gray says, hey, excited to see what you say about this case. We have covered Lauren the Mortician and Jeanette Braun suing the TikTokers. I mean, it may not go on any further because apparently TikTok is getting banned. I still have not looked into that, but that's crazy. Well, I kind of know what's going on there. We still have to get it to go up to the president before it's fully banned or fully signed on. And then China will have some time to sell it and all the things. So we'll see if this law, I mean, I guess it's already out there, so the lawsuit is going to continue. But yeah, we've covered that lawsuit a couple of times. I honestly don't have a clue what's going on in the Jeanette Braun lawsuits per own individual with the robocalls and the Etsy. So I'm excited to see what that one's about. Ohio Palm Mom, another member of the channel, welcome in, drop in the B emoji that StreamYard does not like to show us. We got Carolyn Lower saying, hi all, how are we doing tonight? I will be dealing with some spicy weather the next couple of days. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it gets better for you. Another member of the channel, welcome in. So I'm assuming the weather is going to make you not join, but that's okay. Stay safe, stay safe. And when you say spicy weather, do you mean bad weather or hot weather? Because I'm automatically assuming that is bad weather. Kayla Eloise, another member of the channel, welcome in, saying hi everyone. Hello there. We got Tanya D saying, hey Katie and Palm Mom, welcome in. Kentari saying, hey everyone, another member of the channel, welcome back into the live stream. Nice to have you back tonight. We got Crystal Yo saying, hey everyone, hello, welcome in, welcome in. Mama Bear says this lady is something else. It's just a lot going on with Jeanette Braun. Super Serena 808, another member of the channel, saying aloha, and welcome back. Tanya D saying, I am working on order tonight, so I will mainly be listening only. Oh, okay. We'll accept it. Tanya D says, I hope to see some new faces tonight. Yes, I hope so as well. Kimmie made it to the back, y'all. I don't know if she heard me calling her out, but she's here now. Kristen first saying, hello, Bri. Hello, chat. I finally caught a live stream. Welcome back. I know you missed the last one. We're happy to have you back in the chat. We got Ashley Biwa. I don't know if I just said that right. Biwa. I hope I'm saying that right. Another member of the channel saying, I accidentally joined through the StreamYard link and got scared. You're like, oh no. They're going to make me talk. I don't want to raise my hand. Another member of the channel, welcome in. Tanya D saying, glad you made it. Carolyn Lower says, I don't have a good set of headphones. No problem. We're still going to get through the cases. Don't worry, guys. Emma Wavin, hello. Welcome back. We got Alexis Carney saying, I just got hearing aids laughing my A off, but I'm about to eat dinner and get some food in my braces. No problem. Sounds like a good night, honestly. I'm hungry. I would like to eat. We got Alexis Carney saying, only have not recently. I don't know if I read that right. We got Christina first saying to Tiny D, hey there, same here. YouTube notifications have been wonky for me lately, so I've been missing out on so much. YouTube is always doing us wrong. They're always doing us wrong. Katie Gray says, hello, I have been keeping my eye on this case while watching the Daybell trial. I have not tuned into the Daybell trial. Is that going well or is it going bad? Like, is it something I should tune into? Not necessarily on the channel, but just to watch it go down. Marissa, another member of the channel saying, hey, just wanted to let you know I watch but don't always chat because because it's 9 p.m. here and you're an awesome way to end the day. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I enjoy participating in the chat yesterday, though. No problem. No problem. We're happy to have everyone here. Even if you don't chat much, even if you're just lurking in the bushes, we still love you. Tanya D saying YouTube has been acting up. Crystal Yo says, Ashley, don't be scared. It's fun. Like I'm telling y'all, once you get over the jitters and everything, it is fun. We got Tanya D saying, sorry, Mother's Day is coming up, so you got some work to do. Yes, love that. Kristen at first saying to Tanya D, yeah, it's frustrating, but I try to catch the replay when I can, which the replay is always available, which we love. It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, we do have a member in the back. Are you ready? If you give me a thumbs up, I can bring you up on stage. I don't know if I can see. Okay, I'm gonna give a moment there. Okay, y'all. So we are going to jump and just give me a thumbs up when you're ready. It may be hard for me to see because my mic is kind of blocking where you are. So do not be afraid to thumbs up. Okay, so let's see here. All right, all good. Ready? I will let you in then. Let's see. How do I do this? Add to the stage. There we go. Carolyn, how are you today?
Hey, I'm good.
Good. Nice to have you join in the live stream, your first live.
Yeah, my mic just cut out as soon as you said that you're going to let me join, so hopefully you can hear me.
I can hear you fine.
Okay,
Yes, I can hear you. And this is like the first time where I've brought someone on the stage and I could actually hear them because normally I don't have the right settings. So we're doing good. We are doing good. We are going to start with the case, just the update on the Lauren the Mortician and Jeanette Braun suing the TikTokers. Have you been keeping up with that case?
I've been following it kind of in the background, not too closely. I'm familiar that she was involved in the lawsuit with The Office, where the copyright thing, where she claimed Dunder Mifflin. Or she was involved in that.
Yeah.
In terms of spicy weather, I meant like I'm in Kansas, so we're having tornadoes and stuff.
Okay.
So
yeah. I figured it would be bad weather rather than good weather with the spicy weather. But then I also thought, well, it is getting hot. Well,
yeah,
it goes on and off. So it could have meant either way. It could have went anywhere. So let's go ahead and have Bossy B go across the screen so that we can start the Kitty's response. There's our other responses now, but we are not going to have time to go through everybody's response. So let's have Bossy B come on up. All right, y'all. So we have Kitty responding again because remember, this is the first amended complaint. Let's go ahead. And we're mostly, sorry. I always do that.
you can put me to the side if you want. It's okay.
Do you want to be on screen until we talk about it?
I will admit, I am a bit anxious too, where it's like it is. I'm very glad to be a part of this community, and I feel like I'm also rambling at the same time. So, but yeah, I'm so glad that I'm able to chat with you, actually chat with you.
Yes,
so.
I love the live chatting. Like the chats are cool, but I keep it. It takes a while to get to it. So like the real time chatting is definitely a lot more fun. No shade to the chat. Okay. No shade. So that's why the members should join so that we can all have fun on the live stream. Okay. So I'm going to read it. If at any point you want to go down and take a break, let me know. And then normally I just kind of read through things and then ask questions as we go through the chat and, we'll go with the flow. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let me go ahead and share the screen. Let me figure out how to do that with my life here. Oh, you know what would help if I actually share the screen? So here we go. There we go. There we are. Okay. So this is the motion to dismiss the first amended complaint, and this is for Kitty. Rebecca Day has filed her own, and then Lily Martin and Jessica Vasquez has filed one together. It's going to be very similar, and I haven't read through and picked out every single difference from the first one that we read to this one because I don't have time for that. But it's going to be very similar. They have the same arguments. We're going to go through the background, which is really the juicy part of it, right? And then she has the argument saying that the Georgia anti-SLAPP statute applies to this case. Casey's statements constitute protected activity under the Georgia anti-SLAPP statute. So basically, it's a public concern, so we can talk about it. And then she also has an argument that there is no probability that plaintiffs can prevail on their arguments, failure to state a claim, basically. And then that it should be, or no, wait. Claims are legally deficient. Sorry, that one's legally deficient. The next one is to failure to state a claim. And then the next one, I think, is venue as it relates to Lauren, Propson. And then we have a conclusion, but we're probably not going to get that far into it, citing a bunch of cases. And for those of you who do not remember what case this is, I don't know how you could forget. Basically, Lauren the Mortician, who is a pretty famous TikToker, and her lawyer, Jeanette Braun, are suing 4 other TikTokers for basically talking about them on the internet, saying that they are filing false copyright strikes against them. Jeanette is very upset that people are calling her a rogue attorney. I know this channel go rogue sometimes, but she does not like being called a rogue attorney. Also, that they're calling her an unethical attorney and all kinds of things, right? This case is mostly Jeanette Braun's case. And then Lauren, the Mortician, only has like a couple of little claims against Kitty, while Jeanette Braun is suing 4 people at this point. So let's go ahead and jump down to the background. Again, it's going to kind of remind us of what's going on, and it might be a little bit of a repeat of what we have covered in the past. So we got the introduction. Do I want to cover the introduction, or do I want to go straight into the, I guess I can come, no, I'll cover the introduction. Let's see. Okay, so this action is an attempt by an alleged well-known social media influencer with millions of followers. So exact same opening as the first one, and her lawyer to silence an individual who has voiced opinions about them on social media with which they disagree. While plaintiff Lauren Propson and her lawyer Jeanette Braun and Braun IP Law collectively may not like what defendant Casey, the owner and operator of the social media account Caffeinated Kitty, has to say about them on TikTok, the allegations of the amended complaint reveal that Casey's alleged statements are nothing more than her opinion, her subjective beliefs, and at worst, I knew I was going to mess this up, hyperbolic name calling. They are not actionable as defamation as a matter of law. If you guys don't remember what Propson said, she said, oh, well, she called me transphobic. I don't know how she's going to be able to prove whether or not she's transphobic. I think that's going to fall under her subjective belief and her opinions about the things that Lauren, the mortician, supports. And then for Braun, it's, oh, she's an unethical lawyer. She's files false copyright strikes, which is not inappropriate because we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. Let's get through this. Not one of the alleged defamatory statements is a verifiable statement of fact. And importantly, they each fall within the scope of protected activity under the Georgia anti-SLAPP statute, which governs Georgia speakers such as Casey, who plaintiffs allege is a resident of Georgia. Put simply, this case is nothing more than a coordinated, inappropriate attempt by a lawyer and her client to intimidate an individual for speaking her mind and exercising her First Amendment rights. Indeed, the First Amendment complaint reveals the length to which plaintiffs will go to harass Casey for voicing her opinions, namely sending police to Georgia to conduct a wholly fabricated wellness check, which is absolutely ridiculous. Probably the worst part of this case is when they called the police to have them go check on Casey because she was acting unhinged and erratic, quotation marks, on the internet. Like, that's a very dangerous thing to do. Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah. I agree with like that is completely inappropriate, and it feels more like a lashing out than anything else. Sorry,
Yeah. And
But
oh, go ahead.
I was curious, like, when it comes to, like, defamation, where the line was, like, between calling someone mean names as opposed to calling someone something defamatory. Like, when you call someone a rapist or a murderer, yeah, you've crossed a line there. But, like, when it comes to general, oh, you're homophobic, you're racist, you're transphobic, like, would that ever be something that would be defamatory?
Right. So it really would be, it depends, but there is case law that calling people a racist is not defamatory, because it's what you think about them. You can't really prove whether or not you're a racist, right? Like, how do we prove that? Same thing with transphobic. And honestly, I don't think Casey ever called her transphobic. I think she said that she follows transphobic, or she supports transphobic um content, which she did like, and she did follow some people, and then we would have to prove that that guy is making transphobic content. So I think it just gets too far down the line. But for the most part, I think that the court's going to rule that it's like they said, her subjective beliefs and her opinions, versus saying Jeanette Braun stole my money. You can prove whether or not she stole her money or not, right? So in order for it to be defamation, it has to be a provable fact. It cannot be an opinion, if that makes sense.
Yes, and I mean, like, yes, but where it comes to statements, I guess, like, when it comes to, like, this is the type of person that ends up being more opinion based, whereas, like, this is what the person did.
Right.
So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you just have to be able to prove it. And certain things like that, you can't prove it. Or like if you said, oh, this person's an idiot, that's an opinion. You can't, I mean, I guess you could prove if they're an idiot, but they're going to consider that to be an opinion, not something rooted in fact that you would be able to prove. And you have to be able to prove it in court. So let's jump back into it okay, here we are. In response to plaintiff's original complaint, Casey filed a motion to strike under the Georgia anti-SLAPP statute, and alternatively, a motion to dismiss demonstrated the protected nature of Casey's conduct and baseless nature of plaintiff's claim. In response to that motion, plaintiffs amended their complaint and had a second chance to allege facts demonstrating the inapplicability of the First Amendment and or the viability of their claims. Once again, however, plaintiffs have failed. As explained below, the amended complaint changes very little, contextual tweaks here and there, and is based on the identical protected statements as the original complaint. I think they added a little bit more into the protected statements, but I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. The amendment is nothing more than plaintiff's attempt to protect this baseless litigation as a means of intimidating Casey from expressing her opinions on social media. Accordingly, the Georgia anti-SLAPP statute mandates that all 10 claims asserted by plaintiff against Casey, all of which arise out of the alleged defamatory statements, be stricken and attorney fees awarded to Casey. Alternatively, Casey respectfully requests that this court dismiss all claims under 12b6, which is failure to state a claim, or at minimum that Propson claims against Casey under federal 12b3 for being in the improper venue. Remember, they attached Propson onto this case saying that it arose out of the same facts, but no, not really. She's suing Casey for something Casey said about her directly, and then Jeanette Braun is suing Casey about something that Jeanette Braun said, or that she said about Jeanette Braun directly. I don't think they come from the same set of facts. She's going to have to try to tie those all together, because the only reason why Jeanette was brought into the mix is because she was Lauren's attorney, but I don't think she's going to be able to tie that together. But I've been wrong before. Hence, I thought Chicago or Illinois was going to dismiss this claim from their courts, but they did not. Here we are. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. And then let's see. Let's start the background, and then we'll probably check. I think the background is a couple pages. Yeah. Let's get a little bit through the background, and then we'll check the comments and reply to the people. But I see that Kayla just gifted 5 Boss Attorney Bri memberships. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think Deacon Fatal is not here tonight, so I get to use my horn. Thank you, Kayla Eloisa, for gifting 5 Boss Attorney Bri memberships. For those people that just became new members, you are welcome to join the live stream live on camera in action with us. You just have to go into the membership community tab and click on the link and join us live. And it's actually open for all members of the Bri Hive right now, but normally it would just be the Bri Hive tier. And also Kimmie, which I have not seen any comments from Kimmie yet. Where is our bingo game? We were supposed to be playing bingo. I completely forgot about that. We're supposed to be playing bingo. So I don't know if I can reach Kimmie on the cell phone, maybe. Let me text her. Let's see. Are we playing bingo? I see her in the background, but I don't see any chats from her.
I guess to the chat, does anyone have any words for the bingo card?
Oh, do you guys have the bingo card?
Was it created already? I saw you made a post about it.
I did. Okay. Kimmie's still getting them together. That's why I was like, I completely forgot about them. I was going to do it like on Canva, but Kimmie said there's a way that you can play virtually. And I thought that made a lot more sense. But I don't know how to do that. So I think she's going to do the first run of it, and then we'll see if we can keep it going. But yeah, I got the chat. What did I just do? Okay, here we go. Let's jump back into it. We'll get bingo. We'll get bingo in a minute.
Yes, chat, there is a bingo game.
We're just not ready. Don't worry about it. It's not you, it's me, okay? All right, let's jump into the background. Plaintiff Lauren Probson is a social media personality, and plaintiff Jeanette Braun, through Plaintiff Braun IP, collectively is her lawyer. Probson is a licensed mortician residing in Wisconsin who operates a social media account on TikTok under the name Lauren the Mortician. Probson alleges that she has amassed millions of followers on TikTok. I don't know why they keep saying allege, because she does have millions of followers on TikTok. Is she trying to like throw shade and say maybe they're not real followers?
Yeah, maybe they're bots.
Yeah, she keeps saying alleged. But she does have millions of followers, but they could be bots. You're right. As well as sponsorship and monetization of the video she posts on TikTok, including a brand partnership with a famous documentary channel. Probson alleges that her lighthearted and educational videos posted on TikTok discuss death, the loss of loved ones, and demystifying occupations and professions that work with deceased people. Probson hired Braun, a lawyer, to assist her with her copyright infringement claims by filing a Digital Millennium Copyright Act complaint to the social media platforms hosting a video created by KC. The amended complaint alleges that KC is a social media personality and influencer and is a citizen and resident of Georgia. Braun, who resides and is licensed to practice law in Illinois, allegedly filed a DMCA complaint with the social media company Meta on behalf of Probson to remove from Facebook a post created by KC on the ground that KC's post used Probson's copyrighted material. And we're going to quote, why didn't they not copy? They should have quoted that one, because I don't think it was copyrighted. Meta allegedly removed KC's post from Facebook on November 4, 2023. Probson has not asserted any allegations of copyright infringement against KC in connection with her alleged use of copyrighted material in her Facebook post. Rather, this action is based on allegations that KC posted videos on another social media platform, TikTok, in which she allegedly defamed Probson and Braun. I like how they pointed that out. I don't think if they did that in the first version of this, I did not notice it. But she's basically saying, okay, I made a video that she claimed was copyright protected, but she's not suing me for copyright infringement. She's instead suing me for making a video about her saying something else. I think that was pretty smart to bring that up, because if it is copyright infringement, why are you not suing me for that, basically?
How many
But
times did they say allegedly, allegations in that last paragraph?
yeah, because they don't want to admit to anything. Like she's even saying allegedly she lives in Georgia, so maybe she doesn't live in Georgia.
Is that
Defendant,
like a suable thing? Is like if you say they live in Georgia and they don't live in Georgia, is like I'm gonna sue you for that? I guess you can't prove damages there,
yeah,
but
you can't prove that you lost anything by saying that you lived in Georgia. Because if she doesn't live in Georgia, basically she would have just objected, saying that I don't live in Georgia. And basically you have the wrong person because I don't live in Georgia. So I'm going to assume that she lives in Georgia because I haven't seen a motion filed like that yet in this case. So um, no, that wouldn't be defamatory. Like you said, there's no damages for saying someone lives somewhere where they don't, other than like, okay, if they say that person's from the hood and they're not from the hood and then they lose their job. I don't know how that would happen, but hey, maybe it could happen. Defendant Casey's alleged defamatory statements regarding Propson. Propson alleges that on or around October 24, 2023, Casey published a video on TikTok and identified her by her public persona, Lauren the Mortician. The amended complaint contends that in the 10/24/23 TikTok post, Casey goes on to accuse Propson of being transphobic and a TERF because she likes posts on social media by a social media personality who is in a gay relationship. But how would that make her transphobic? Oh, I guess she's trying to point out that how could I be transphobic if I follow a gay relationship? I guess that's because that's coming from the amended complaint, but let's go on. The amended complaint alleges that TERF is a derogatory slur, highly offensive term, an acronym standing for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist, which is a term used to refer to or describe an advocate of radical feminism who does not believe that transgender people identities are legitimate and who is hostile to the inclusion of trans women in the feminist movement. The 10/24/23 TikTok post allegedly starts off with Casey stating, Lauren the Mortician is a TERF. I have receipts, I have deets, and you should just go ahead and take a seat. And Casey reference to deets and receipts allegedly was intended to tell audiences that Casey had verifiable proof that Propson was transphobic. Casey then explains that Propson was following and actively liking incredibly transphobic and hateful rhetoric and content on social media, and Casey stated that she compiled a list of links to that post Propson liked that contained transphobic and hateful rhetoric. Casey allegedly stated in the video that Propson is trying to divert attention by saying she is just pro LGBTQ and a bisexual, as if that is some kind of hall pass that prevents her from being prejudiced to other subgenres of the rainbow. Other subgenres of the rainbow. I like that. Just like any other person can be biphobic, bi people can be transphobic. Text caption, unfriendly reminder, we see transphobic, so we're saying transphobic. That ain't bullying, it's an observation. That's the caption that was in the video. Nowhere in the amended complaint does Propson identify any statements from the 10/24/23 TikTok post that Propson is transphobic or that Casey has proof that Propson is transphobic. She basically just makes the insinuations, right? She says she has deeds, receipts, blah, blah, blah. So she's claiming that she has proof and that she's saying that she's a TERF and she likes transphobic content. So all of a sudden she's calling her transphobic. Calling her a TERF, I think, would be a little bit more, I mean, not more on the opinion based side, but I think both of them would be opinion based. I just don't see how they would prove whether or not she is a TERF or a transphobic person. In October 2024-23, TikTok post in the 2024 or the 10/24/23 TikTok post, KC can be seen over the background of a social media account profile for an individual named Anthony Raimondi under the profile name Conservativiant. That's a strange word, which indicates that Lauren the Mortician follows the Conservativia, is that how you say that account?
conservativian, yeah, conservativian or something like that.
Yeah,
That is
close enough.
yes. I like the conservativiant. It feels very fancy.
Yeah, it makes him a little fancier, right?
Yes.
As well as a list of all the videos Casey caught props and liking. There's a link in the 10/24/23 TikTok post. Casey explains why she is identifying the post containing what Casey believes to be transphobic and hateful rhetoric that Propson has liked and followed. The only reason I'm saying anything is because I'm getting confused with her in multiple threads over the weekend that people are taking about creators that are coming out with controversy or bad vibes. All I ask from this is that when you see people trying to cancel Propson or talk about the Beetlejuice lady, you you just make sure they know it's not me. I really don't. I can see where she's going with that. Her reasoning. I can see where she's going with that. Don't confuse me with her because she likes transphobic things and I'm not transphobic. See, we are different people. But I also don't see why you needed to say that she is trans. I mean, she didn't say it, but insinuate that she is transphobic. You could have just been like, we are two different people. Her content is about death. My content is about this. We're not the same people. So I kind of don't see the reason for pointing that out. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way.
I also agree. Like, you covering law stuff doesn't make you like everybody else who covers legal analysis.
Right.
So anybody that is a mortician that's covering mortician topics, like, you don't really need to discern yourself from another person. You like, if anything, it feels more like an insecurity to be like, this person is totally this, when you have to degrade someone else, regardless of if
Right.
it's not true or whether it is or is not true. If you go to degrading them, see, I'm better because they're transphobic.
Right. Am I?
It's,
You go ahead.
yeah, it's kind of, it kind of shows a level of insecurity on your end.
Yeah, it was a strange comparison because I don't even think I don't even think Kitty covers death. I think she talks like, you know, I want to say she talks like dating or something. I never watched her content. But she kind of they have kind of like the same vibe more than the same content. So she could have easily said, because I think Lauren the Mortician at the time had pink hair and her at the time either had like gray or a lavender's hair. So she could have said that versus, oh, that's not me. I'm not transphobic, but she is. Like, it's kind of like you could have just been like, no, I'm a different person. Look, my hair is shorter because I think Kitty's hair is shorter. Her hair is not pink. Like, there were a couple of ways she could have distinguished herself from Lauren the Mortician. But let me know if y'all have um any other reason or any other ideas about why she went down that route instead of just being like, hey, look, I'm a completely different person. Look at me and look at her. Versus going and saying, oh, well, she's trans and she's transphobic and I'm not. I think that was a bit of a stretch. And I haven't changed my mind since reading this, but either way it goes, let's go on. Nowhere in the amended complaint do plaintiffs allege that Propson has not liked these posts or followed these individuals, which is correct. She has not stated her claim. She has just said she called me a transphobic, and I am not that. But I may or may not have liked the post. She just doesn't mention it. She just skips right over that, which is not pleading all of the elements to her claim. Nowhere in the amended complaint do plaintiffs allege that Casey has misstated what these posts say. Rather, the amended complaint alleges only that upon information and belief, none of the videos defending Casey Link contain transphobic or hateful rhetoric, because that would be her opinion that she did not see any transphobic or hateful rhetoric in the video, right? Moreover, nowhere in the amended complaint do plaintiffs allege any facts demonstrating that any statements made by KC in the 10/24/23 TikTok post are false. She didn't. Rather, the amended complaint alleges only that KC was aware that Propson followed and liked pro LGBTQ and pro trans rights content on social media, and that KC chose to highlight only Propson's interaction with conservative social media personality. An admission by plaintiff that Propson did interact with follow, and or like an individual Casey believed was posting transphobic and hateful rhetoric. Casey's statements allegedly caused Propson to lose numerous followers, her contract with a famous and popular travel channel, and a podcast that was in negotiation. So she's not really, because we talked about it earlier, in order to prove defamation, you have to show that it was a fact and that it was false and that you suffered damages. In this case, Casey is saying she just pointed out what I said about her. She didn't say it wasn't true. She admitted to interacting with the account, which is what I said. You interact with that account. And she didn't say that, she never said how the video is not transphobic or doesn't make her, I guess that is not hateful rhetoric. That was the wording. So she's basically setting up that she's not stating her claim. She's just saying she said this about me and it was mean. That's not defamation.
Yeah.
That's not defamation.
They hurt my feelings though.
Yeah, they hurt my feelings. It was mean. Being mean is not you can't sue for that unless you're like being mean like someone slapped you. You can sue for that. Being mean and someone lying to you, you can sue for that. But being mean in saying their opinion, no, you cannot sue for that. So, next part. Defendants Casey alleged defamatory statements regarding Braun. As stated above, Propson hired Braun to file a DMCA copyright complaint with Meta regarding Casey's alleged use of Propson copyrighted material in a post on Facebook, not TikTok, which Meta approved. Casey then allegedly, when she's saying on Facebook, not Meta, that's further trying to distinguish Propson's claims from Braun's claims, saying that these are not arising out of the same facts. Propson basically came later on and was like, well, I won't beef with you too because you talked about me in a video. Okay, let's see. Casey then allegedly used her social media account to express her anger and resentment of Braun. Specifically, plaintiffs allege that on November 21, 2023, Casey posted a video accusing Propson of using Braun to file false copyright claims with social media platforms. And in the same video, Casey accused Braun of filing bad faith copyright infringement strikes against defendant Casey. The amended complaint alleges that this video was viewed over 928,000 times. Plaintiff alleged that Casey posted the same video again on TikTok on November 25th, 2023, which was viewed over 263,000 times. Both TikTok posts are collectively referred to as the 1123 TikTok post. Contrary to the allegations in the amended complaint, nowhere in the 1123 TikTok post does Casey state that Braun filed bad faith or false copyright claims. In fact, Casey does not even discuss the copyright strike for most of the video. Rather, Casey describes how Braun called the police and sent them to Casey's home, which she cannot dispute because there is audio recording. I sent them to Casey's home in Georgia to conduct a wellness check, as well as how Braun sent Casey a cease and desist letter on which Braun copied Casey's mother and the theater company with which Casey is not affiliated with. Plaintiffs further alleged that on November 21, 2023, Casey created a page on the donation platform called GoFundMe, and on December 8, 2023, Casey published on the GoFundMe page her email response to a cease and desist letter Braun sent to Casey, and the subject line of Casey's response was false copyright claim. The amended complaint sets forth text from and a screenshot of the GoFundMe page update from December 8, 2023 that reflects Casey's email response to Braun regarding allegations of copyright infringement, stating in relevant part that Casey would love further details on Braun's client and how the video had grounds for a copyright strike as it clearly falls under fair use. So basically, which I didn't realize this, the email was what was called false copyright strike, not what she said in the video. So that's interesting. I do understand how you have reached out with, where was I at here? Okay. I do understand how you have reached out with a cease and desist to smaller content creators speaking negatively about Lauren, the Mortician scandals. And while I understand your desire to protect your creator you enjoy, if keyword, if you were not legally obtained as counsel for her, and I speak on this via my platform, your actions are going to cause her significantly more strife. Plaintiff filing of the original complaint and amended complaint. And I'm almost done with this. So let me just finish this up. Plaintiff filed their original complaint on December 15, 2023, asserting 10 causes of action against KC and 3 other individuals who post content on social media platforms and or the internet based on the internet based on statements that these individuals allegedly made regarding Braun. Plaintiffs do not allege that there is any relationship between the 4 defendants. Just the same platform. I didn't even realize that. They are calling them out. I didn't even realize that. They don't even know each other. On February 29, 2023, the defendant each filed motions to strike under applicable anti-SLAPP statute and or motions to dismiss. In response, on March 21, 2024, plaintiffs filed an amended complaint asserting the same claims against all 4 defendants based on the identical statements asserted in the original complaint with no substantial change. So they had a right to amend the complaint. They didn't really amend it. They just added a couple more details in there, but they didn't really change much of what they were alleging. So we do have another friend in the back. Let me know when you're ready, Smalls. Good to go? All right, we got Smalls. Welcome in, welcome in.
Hey.
Yo, what's good, y'all?
How are you today?
I'm all right. I'm alive and alive.
I love the mic.
How are y'all? Thank you.
Good. We are chatting on Lauren the Mortician per usual. So,
Yep.
I know you popped in. You got some words you want to say?
Yeah, so I just wanted to add some context, maybe some information to the whole, why was it necessary for her to point out the transphobia and all that stuff, right? Because I remember this happening. I was kind of following along. So the issue was that people online were confusing the two. We know that part, right? But the problem was, or where it became a problem, because this wasn't the first time that they were confusing the two people, but where it became a problem was. Y'all hear that? My neighbor. That's why I don't like children. Anyway,
they know that you're trying to talk to us on the internet. They have it.
Just playing with the vibe. Put it down. Anyways, what was I saying? Okay, so the issue was, so they were getting confused, right? That wasn't really a problem. It wasn't the first time that it was happening. The problem incurred where, because Lauren the Mortician was being called out for the transphobia or for liking these transphobic tweets, right? People were, you know how like it goes with telephone, people are kind of like telling the story to other people and they're blaming Kitty for it, right? So this is why, and then you had the confusion of, well, how is she transphobic? Or it was just kind of like a mess. And so, at least from my perspective, Kitty was saying, okay, here's what's really going on. This is this person, but this is also why, despite the fact that I'm not this person, this is why people are mad at this person. This is why I need to make this video. I'm making this video to let you know this is what she did. This is not what I've done, right? And so that's where the whole like, let me be clear about the transphobia and what's happening. That's where that came into play. So I don't necessarily think it was like a matter of like being insecure, because she had ignored it for a while. Because like I said, this had been happening for a minute. Like you would see in people's comment sections, like other people's comment section, like, oh, is this so-and-so? No, that's Lauren the Mortician. And you see people going back and forth. Well, no, because I heard that she liked transphobic tweets. No, Kitty's not transphobic. And then so that's when Kitty came in and is like, hold on, time out. Like, I'm not this person, but this is also why people are mad about this person doing these things. And this is why I need to make this video about it. And now I have these receipts and here's what's happening.
Okay, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, so this was more like, this was more like a follow-up video.
Yeah. It was a response to what was happening. Like she didn't just like out of the blue be like, I just want to tell y'all this lady is transphobic. That's not what was happening. She just was like finally responding to all the confusion. Because they both have, even though they don't look alike, right? Well, I won't go that far. They don't look alike, especially if you follow both of their content. But as somebody who didn't really follow both of their content, I could see people getting confused, right? They've got the colorful hair. They're both kind of like quirky and weird or whatever. But really what was confusing people was because I think they both have these like call out things with like the Beetlejuice or whatever, right? So somebody would say Beetlejuice and like tag the person and that creator would come and like respond or whatever, right? And they both had this sort of thing with their fan bases. And so people on the outskirts like me were like, oh, it's the Beetlejuice lady. And they're like, no, not that Beetlejuice lady, the other Beetlejuice lady. Oh, that one's transphobic. Oh, no, not that one. The other one is transphobic. And it was just like a mess online. And so that's when Kitty was like, okay, time out. Let's clear this up.
Okay.
If that's the case, then the lawsuit ends up not being relevant to, I forget who is who in this case, but the person that filed the lawsuit doesn't really have a case against that because it didn't start with her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she has a case regardless.
Well,
But yeah,
yeah, I
I
agree.
completely, I definitely agree with that, right? And I think because a lot of people were like, how can you confuse the two? So I'll say this: I was like debating on whether I wanted to go this far, but studies show that like when you are not a part of a community or a culture, like especially here in America, so like we hear all the time, like that white people will mix up the same two black people or mix up the same two Asian people, right? But it's not just white people that do that. It's anybody who's not consistently around those people, right? So like there are plenty of times where I see a celeb and I'm like, oh, that's so and so. And like to me, like all the white celebs look alike if I don't know who they are. And then I think the other factor is that with TikTok, or with any short form content, a lot of people are just like watching in passing, right? They're not as invested like they would be for long form content where the fans and this, that, and the third. So I think it's a lot easier to confuse two creators who have these sort of like signature things like the Beetlejuice call out or the quirky this, or they both talk about like death and like, they have dark senses of humor. Like it can be very easy to like confuse that if you take everything into consideration.
And if you're not a part of that community, then you wouldn't have that background of knowing this general confusion. So it does, to me, it did feel like it was just name calling. And from other people's perspective too, it did also feel like it was name calling on their end. But yeah, but if the supposed name calling didn't start with the video, it's like she's just going after whoever she can put a face to the name calling. And
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, name calling, sure. If I'm being honest, I feel like it's like when I hope like Kimmie doesn't mind this example, right? But like there are times where like I might say something to Kimmie that like, hey, be careful with this or whatever, right? And Kimmie doesn't immediately get defensive. She immediately says, oh, like, wait, what happened? Let me figure out what's going on, right? But if I was to accuse somebody else of racism, or I would say, hey, be careful, that might be kind of borderline racist or whatever, and they immediately get defensive and they're more concerned about being called racist than potentially causing harm that stemmed in racism, right? Then that kind of makes me sort of like pause and double take and be like, you're worried about the wrong things here, right? And that's kind of how I feel with this Lauren the Mortician thing. Like she's doing the action of liking things that are definitely transmissic, right? You can say transphobia, transmissic, whatever. She's doing the action, but she's not denying that she's doing the action. She's using all these other random like straw man arguments and other things to say like, but I'm not actually like transmissic. I mean, like, okay, I did the transphobic thing, sure, but like that doesn't make me transphobic because I'm also queer. Like, ma'am, that's not how it works, right? Like she just immediately got defensive and was like, you're name calling and you're doing it. You're worried about the wrong thing, man. Like, let's talk about why you were liking these posts. Why are you engaging with this type of content? Like, she has yet to really address that. She just keeps worried about being called like name calling, right? And like being identified as such. And like, yeah, she's worried about the wrong things.
yeah, and you made a comment earlier I thought was funny, that I have a black friend excuse. And it does feel a lot like that. I follow LGBT, or I follow gay couple on whatever, and it's like, no, that, I mean, you following one individual person does not give you a complete understanding of the entire picture.
Yeah,
And
sure.
that's what I feel like when it comes to racial issues as well, where it's like, yes, I have friends that are Indian, that are Black and Asian and all of that. I know that I do not have the faintest clue of like any of those cultures. I'm still learning things like every single day. I'm learning like how I am upsetting people, and I want to be better.
Right.
And it does feel like this isn't her acknowledging that, like, hey, I may have stepped on someone's toes. I'm trying to do better. It's, yeah, how dare you accuse me?
Right.
Like, you bumped into me.
Right. And we know, like, you can be I mean, I've been queer my entire life, right? Like, even before I knew I was queer, before I knew the label applied to me, like, and I still had some work to do around trans issues, right? Like, it wasn't until like a trans person came into my life, like through another person, that I realized, like, oh, I have some thoughts that I need to work on. And like, I spent a year like trying to learn and unlearn things, like, despite being queer, right? We also know you can be anti-black and be black. Like, you can have internalized racism. Hello, Candace Owens, right? Like, so all of these like arguments that she's giving, like, I'm bi, I have queer friends, nobody cares, ma'am, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Like, if you're transphobic, like, you're transphobic. And like, and it goes back to like, okay, if you don't want to use the label, like, if the label is like triggering you and making you be defensive or whatever, fine, cool, great. We can talk about the actions, because you still did these actions, but she won't even like address that, right? And so I understand why Kitty was like, time out, let's clear this, because I sure as hell would have. Like, if you're confusing me, say somebody else was confusing me with Candace Owens, it would never happen. But like, if they were, you better believe I'm calling that out and clearing it up and being like, this is so and so and this is me. Like, let's not confuse the two.
Right. And I also forgot that there was already discourse going on, because this video came out after the copyright strike claim.
Yeah,
so
like this,
I completely forgot about that. So it seems that makes sense to me that it's more of a response video than her just coming out and saying, you are, this person, blah, blah, blah. Right.
exactly,
So,
Bri.
okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. I completely forgot. So thank you for coming up and explaining that.
Yeah, you're right, Bri. Yeah, this was like all like a response to what was happening, and I think Kitty, from what I saw, was trying to let it go for a minute and kind of like correcting people on like on a one-off basis. Somebody would come in her comment section and be like, "I heard you did it." She would just respond, and then finally, I think it got to a point where she was like, "Let's talk about this. Like, let's make a video," and then that's when that happened. And yes, this was after Lauren the Mortician was already doing some real wild stuff with the copyright system.
Alexis, that is really funny. Like, I agree that it's funny in the sense that it's not funny, but
I've seen bi people be biphobic. Absolutely, I have too.
You can have, well, I don't know. Racism is a little nuanced, but I feel like you can have racist Black people against other Black people. So
the one perspective that I have is that, like, I'm actually disabled, and I struggled with internalized ableism where, like, I beat myself up for things. I beat up other people for like being disabled, not physically, but it's like, oh, you can just do this thing, even though like I know how it is, but it's still like it's just we're so hounded by it that we lose empathy and patience for it, even though we ourselves experience it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. This is something Kimmie and I have talked about a lot, right? Like, in terms of like ableism and internalized ableism. And like, as somebody who was born with a disability, I've always said, like, you can often see, or you can often tell when like a disabled person has been raised in or grown up in an environment full of like a lot of ableism, or like not with other disabled people, right? Because there tends to be a lot more internalized ableism. And I also say, like, you cannot grow up in a society, in an English speaking society, and not start to learn English, right? Like, you can't like just be completely raised in a society that is English speaking and never pick up anything in the English language. So it's really inherent that we're going to have these implicit biases, that we're going to have these things that we need to unlearn, that we need to challenge within ourselves. So denying it is really that's like not the point. Like, that just tells me you're not yet on the journey, right? Because even somebody born with a disability, I had internalized ableism, right? There are still things that I have to sort of like work within myself. Like, okay, I can give myself grace for that. Okay, I don't need to compare my situation to the next disabled person's situation. Well, I wouldn't do that. So they don't. It's like we all have to like work through those things. And that's why I say, like, it's so easy to tell the difference if I mention something to Kimmie and she immediately starts to like, oh, like, let's talk about it. Like, let's have a conversation about it, versus somebody being like, I'm not racist. Don't call me racist. And I'm like, okay, ma'am, calm down. Like, you're doing too much. Yeah, I completely agree with both of you.
And it is like it is something to have like some racist thoughts, but not like be defined as racism or be defined as transphobic or something like that. But like that's pretty much in general, that's what I feel like we experience. And for instance, like I was a grad student, I had students all the time from different cultural backgrounds. I had to learn real quick that like that there were not that many resources available for different types of people that are coming from different backgrounds. That I'm used to having access to things that other people don't have access to, and um, it is a moment of like I do have bias that like in the moment I do feel stupid, I feel racist and stuff like that, but it's like you have to kind of acknowledge that to be better, not just shut it down and say like, oh, I'm not racist, I socialize with these people because that's where the bar is. It's like if you set a bar at all, that's a huge problem.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, thank y'all for the discussion. I felt like that was very like I don't even know. I felt like I was at not a debate, but I don't know what not a debate because it was just like very informative. I don't even know what word I was looking for, y'all. It was a good presentation. It felt like a good presentation, but that's not the word I'm looking for.
Great discourse.
Yeah, great discourse. It's still not the word.
Learning experience.
Academia.
That's not it either, but
it felt like I was in academia or something. I was like, yeah, this is nice. Everyone's speaking politely. Everybody's saying, yeah. Okay, sorry.
I do love this way of discussing things. That I love it. Like being a teacher, it made me proud when students would call me out for things because I know how terrifying it is to call someone out, especially someone that you think is superior to you in any way. Like, and so when a student would say like, no, I think you're wrong here, it's like, I'm so proud of you for doing like that. And so I'm not upset when someone's like, hey, this is not the correct perspective, or here's what I take from it, this or something like that. So I'm not going to get defensive. I want to be a professor one day, and I want to be that professor that gets told that I'm wrong by my students. I would love to have students tell me that I'm wrong and tell me why
That's how you
I am
learn.
wrong.
That's how we learn and grow, right? Like I've said that before. Like, you know, there was a period where I was doing music where I was not getting any negative feedback. And I feel like other artists might like that. But I feel like you can't grow. Like if you don't know, like, oh, here's an area where I may be weaker or I maybe can strengthen. You can't grow. Like if you're not getting like negative feedback is helpful, right? Like and honestly, it doesn't have to be considered negative. It can just be neutral. Like you can just get feedback, critiques, and just take it and, you know, kind of internalize it and ask questions or go do some homework. But you got to be at a certain point in your life, in your sort of like growing to be able to do that, like to not get defensive when you get feedback like that. But
I agree.
That's a great perspective to have. We need more professors like that who are like, give me all the negative feedback so I can get better.
Sorry, I interrupted.
Bri.
Oh no. So I caught up on chats so I can finally talk. Sorry, y'all. So for bingo, just real quick, there is a link. It's pinned in the chat. I'll like get to the rules when we get there. I don't want to get off of this conversation right now. Yeah, I'm super lucky. Smalls and I have a lot of conversation. She's very open. I always check like, hey, is now a good time to ask you about something? And having somebody correct you, like, I take it as a compliment in a weird way because it means they care about you. They want you to be the best version of yourself. They care about the impact you have on the world. Like for someone to get defensive when they're corrected, like in a way being corrected implies that they think positively of you and that you didn't mean it that way. They're just letting you know, they're informing you. And so I think it's a good thing. I think everything you guys have said so far has been right on. And hello.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Like I'm not gonna use because Carolyn, am I getting that right?
Yeah,
Are your pronouns she, her?
I'm they, them.
They, them. Okay. So like Carolyn was saying, right? They mentioned something about I just had a brain fart. But basically I'm saying like, they were mentioning how like it can take a lot of work, right? Like it can be scary, it takes a lot of energy. And for somebody who's like anxious, right? Like just on a regular basis, I'm anxious to say hello, right? Like it takes a lot for me to give feedback. It takes a lot for me to like correct or push back and to want to do it in a way that's healthy and not harmful and not like spitting, just being like, you're sucking, you're racist and go away. Like that's not ever like my goal, right? And I'm not gonna waste that energy. I'm not gonna waste my spoons on somebody I don't care about, don't want to interact with again in the future. Like who I think is like sort of like a lost cause or just not worth my time, right? If I'm doing that, if I'm coming to correct you to say, hey, this, you might not have realized this, but this could be potentially transphobic, or this might be potentially racist, or, maybe it's not racist, but it might just be potentially harmful, right? Like there was something that happened recently with Kimmie and I, and it wasn't that I thought it was racist. I was like, hey, this might just be harmful for somebody. Like if somebody else were to receive this, they might have a visceral reaction to it, right?
To just give a little context, though, it's at okie dokie, but yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not wild on out with small.
Yeah. Kimmie wasn't like wilding out, right?
Okay.
No. Okay. So
sorry.
So it was Kimmie. Can I just say what it was like? What happened? Okay. So basically, it was a gorilla like GIF, right? And for those who don't know, like I also run Black and Sick, which is a page about being Black and sick, and so we get a lot of like racist feedback, and so people send us gorilla emojis or gifs or monkey gifs or whatever and call us monkeys and like all kind of stuff, right? And so when I first saw the gif, I had this sort of like visceral reaction, like, why is she sending me a gorilla gif, right? And then I saw the words that said okie dokie and I was like, oh, okay, wait. At no point during that interaction did I think Kimmie was being racist or intending to harm or cause harm in any way, right? So my feedback was just like, just a heads up, and this might just be my perspective because I've gotten a lot of like monkey and gorilla emojis recently. But it could have this sort of impact on somebody else, right? And then we had a conversation about it. And then like a couple days later, like we had a conversation about it. And then it was just like a learning experience, right? And by no means, like maybe nobody else would be harmed by it, but like being able to have a conversation about it with somebody, like that says a lot about the person. If I come to you and I'm using my spoons to say my energy, my effort to say, hey, this doesn't look so great. Hey, you might want to, check on this or whatever. And your immediate thing is like, I'm not transphobic. I'm not racist. It's like, okay, you actually are, and also not worth my time and energy. Like you give yourself away at that point, the moment you get defensive about it. Right. It tells me you're not even in the position to learn, to grow, you're worried about you're worried more about the label of being called this thing than actually potentially harming somebody by being that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes. And I'm ashamed to say this, but I guess this is part of the growing process. I've been in that position too, where it's like that was where I was insecure about, like, I'm doing everything wrong, but in order to make myself feel better, I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, so I can understand it, but I can't excuse it, where it is like, okay, I know it's really upsetting to be called out for something. It makes you feel insecure. It makes you feel like everybody hates you or something.
But go ahead, Kimmie, because you're about to say something.
Well, I think it's also important to distinguish, like you said, the difference between an explanation and an excuse, and to realize that your intent doesn't change the effect of the impact. Like if I smack someone in the face because I'm playing around, but I do it hard, just because I didn't mean to hurt them doesn't mean I didn't. And so there's just a level of humility and honestly reality that I think comes with realizing, oh, I did this thing, it had that result. Okay, got it.
And I also think it's a moment for like introspection and like self-reflection, right? Because like Carolyn was saying, they said like it's not fun to be called out for being these things. Like nobody wants to be like potentially accused or seen as these things, right? And then I would ask the person, what feels bad? Like, how are you feeling right now? Like really interrogate like the emotions, like sit with what you're feeling and really interrogate them, right? Because when somebody tells me like I've done something to cause harm, my immediate, like, yes, I feel bad, but not for the same reasons that like racists feel bad. Like racists are worried about like their ego, their, you know, reputation, where I'm worried about like, oh shit, did I just cause somebody harm? Like, oh my God, like how can I fix it? So yes, I feel bad, but my like reputation and like how people are looking at me and potentially being labeled this thing, that comes second. And I think, or like really at the end of the day, and I think that's because like I know deep down what my intentions are, but I also know that I'm putting in the work to be better, to not be those things, right? And so the foremost like thing that is causing me discomfort is like, oh no, I might have caused somebody harm. Like not like even like offending somebody, because I always like try to remind people like hurt feelings are not the same as oppression. Oppression is not the same thing as hurt feelings, right? Like causing harm is not the same thing as like offending somebody. And so the potential that I might have caused like actual harm to somebody, made somebody like not feel great, participated in oppression in some way, that's the first thing that feels bad. But like racist, that seems like, or racist or transphobic people or people who are just not there yet, that seems to be like third, fourth, fifth down the line of why they feel bad. They feel bad because they might be seen.
Sorry for
I think that was Kimmie, because when I pressed mute, it went away. So let me see. Let me see here. Is it Kimmie? Yeah, it's Kimmie.
I'm sorry, Kimmie.
I just want y'all to know Kimmie's equipment hates her. I don't know why.
It's like it's making like a staticky noise.
Kimmie's equipment is always coming for her. No lie. No lie. It's not Kimmie, it's the equipment. I think her equipment is haunted, if I'm honest.
I was about to say that. My dog has been summoned. I gonna show her. She's just chilling down here.
Oh, doggy. Okay, you're not muted anymore, and I can't hear your voice now. Okay, bye.
Kimmie.
Okay, well, we got to get through the comments because we have 2 more cases to go through. But no, I definitely understand the whole not trying to offend people, not trying to hurt people's feelings and everything. I get called out on this channel all the time, but I just giggle it away and I make sure to say I'm not trying to be offensive. Like Deacon Fatal called me out the other night because we were doing the hot or not. And I said Chris Brown, and she was like, "Don't support abusers." I'm like, I'm not trying to do that, but
At least you didn't pull a Jill Scott, bro.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, no, you can get called out on this channel, especially when you're putting yourself out there in public. And you don't know what might be offensive or hurtful to other people. So I try to be careful, but you're never going to, not to be mean, but you're never going to please everybody. You're never going to be able to not hurt everybody's feelings. And the people who are there for you and want to be supportive of you, they will. So, but
this is like something that is kind of hard to word correctly. So I'm gonna say it wrong. Is like you're responsible for your actions, not other people's emotions.
Right.
So you are. So that's one thing that always upsets me is when someone says, "I'm sorry you feel that way," and so that's where it's like, if I did something that I caused you pain, I am responsible for causing you pain, but the emotions that you experience, you can't, you can manage them however you feel. You can be mad at me. You can never talk to me again or whatever. It is not my place to go beyond to to bend backwards to make it right, but it is my place to make sure that I'm not hurting people again.
Right.
I don't know. I'm saying that in a way that kind of feels a little narcissistic, where it's like,
No, I don't think that sounded narcissistic, because I think my therapist has told me that a lot, right? Like you're not responsible for other people's feelings and emotions. I think that's exactly true and correct. We can only control ourselves. We can only control our actions. And that's where, we have to remember like where our responsibility lies. I completely agree with the I'm sorry you feel that way. No. I don't need you to apologize for how I feel. What you need to do is apologize for what you did, like what you contributed, how you participated. Yeah, I don't think that sounded narcissistic though at all. I think that was right on the money.
All right, let's go ahead and have Bossy bring us into the chat. All right, we got Kayla Eloisa. Thank you again for the 5 Boss Attorney Bri memberships. Definitely appreciate that. We got J. Michael RN. Welcome in. Thank you for becoming a member again, because J. Michael has been a member before. So welcome back into the membership. We got Tanya D saying you're doing great to Carolyn Lower. I know you were saying you were nervous earlier, but you are doing amazing. Kayla Eloisa says, love seeing new faces. I'm too exhausted to join tonight. And that was the kind of, I didn't know about doing a nighttime one. This is the first time that I am doing a nighttime one. So let me know how y'all like it or not, because it's hard to get them on the weekends because I'm busy on the weekends, but I'm busy during the week too. But let me know if y'all like being up later at night or not.
I was gonna say I like the evening ones, but also I'm on the West Coast with you, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, I'm 2 hours ahead of you, and so like it is. I do have to get up at 5, and it is 10 right now, so it is a bit past my bedtime. But I did really want to chat with you, and chat with everybody about like this stuff, because it is really fun to chat about this.
Yeah, thank you for joining us live. I definitely appreciate it. Let's see. We got Marissa saying, I imagine them walking a trans person past and seeing if they jump or startle like a person who is afraid of spiders, talking about how do you prove if they're transphobic or not. They're not going to be able to prove that in court. Like, I just don't see, like, are there experts on, like, who are you going to have come to testify and say, yes, this is definitely transphobic content? And
well, I mean,
she liked it.
Well, I mean, I think when it comes to like transphobia, because Bri, didn't you mention this, that like there's already case law that says like being called racist is not considered defamation? I would imagine it's the same thing for transphobic.
Right.
I will say, I think this is in response to Marissa's comment. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. That's one reason that people are using transmissia or transmissic more, because the root word missia or missic is it means hatred, right? As opposed to, or like an aversion to, as opposed to fear. And people want to be, people want to play games and be like, I'm not scared of trans people. I'm not scared of Black people. I'm not scared of what. Okay, you know what we mean, right? So that's why one reason people are using the word transmissic or transmissia now. And I would imagine like you probably could have expert testimony, like expert witnesses to say, well, this is the definition of transmissia and this is the action. And you probably could, but I'm wondering like, and Bri, like maybe you could speak to this. How much does it really matter if like precedent has already said that is not considered defamation? I can call you transmissic all day long, and doesn't matter what expert witnesses I tout in and you tout in, it's not defamation. Go sit down. Like, I don't know, Bri, I don't know if you.
Well, and I'm thinking it's going to fall along the lines of the racism. And just think about all the cases that we have watched. They do all bring in experts, right? And all they do is give their opinion. So Kitty's going to bring in an expert that aligns with her opinion. And then Lauren's going to bring in an expert that aligns with her opinion. And it's really just who convinces the judge more. But I don't think the judge is going to be willing to take this as something that can be proven as a fact, which is the, I think, harmful part about considering it a phobia, because those are things that are diagnosable. Like you can diagnose a phobia, but transphobic, I don't think anybody's diagnosing that. I think it falls more along the lines of racism and things like that. So I think the court will follow that case law of that this is not fact. And even if it is fact, she's, speaking on a public issue to defend herself. And I think that maybe Kitty should have pointed that out a little bit more in her response of that, hey, no, all of this stuff has been, or she did say it a little bit, but she definitely didn't say, well, Lauren already made 45 videos about me, or I've already received 45 comments saying that I'm this transphobic person and that Lauren, they're thinking I'm Lauren. I think that would have added added a lot more to her response if she would kind of indicate it. People were calling me transphobic and calling me her name, and that's why I said those things, versus the way they put it out there. And honestly, the way that she starts the video looks like she just comes out swinging out of nowhere without the context of the prior videos, if that makes sense. So
I think that's the nature of like short form content, right? Like, because you're very limited on how much you can. And I hear creators talk about this quite often where like, they're like, we don't have enough time. Like there's other context I would have liked to provide, but I've got this very short window of time in which to, and a lot of times they end up, this is a pet peeve of mine, where like creators will start speaking or present a video or something as though everybody who's going to potentially watch this video has all the context already.
Right.
And I'm like, girl, where are you talking about? Like, I don't, where did, and so it took me a little bit of digging, right? But yeah, I completely agree, Bri. Like, it does seem like, let me just make this video about Lauren the Mortician, because the video is very much presented as, well, you guys already know what's up, so let me respond to it, as opposed to, hey, this is what's happening. Let me lay out and I think that's kind of the double-edged sword of like short form content.
And I think just a little bit, and not necessarily more explanation in the video, but more explanation in the actual complaint or the response to the complaint. Yeah. Which maybe she will go into it in her answer. Right now, she's just doing a motion to dismiss. So there's that.
I'm gonna take a dog out. I will be right back.
Okay, no problem. Okay, she got it together. She muted it and everything. I'm going to put her down and she can come back. All right. We got Crystal Yo saying, I assume it hurts their views or followers in this type of social media. They can say defamation, right? That could be proof. I don't know if I understand that. I assume it hurts their views or followers in the type of social media. They can say, yes, as far as like damages, yes, but I think we were talking about something else and we're probably too far away from that comment at this point. Caitlin Hearn says their attorney called Janet out. Yes, she did, or yes, they did. Marissa says, I think something important to remember is someone says they defamed me, I am suing. The court has to accept that as fact, and then the defendant needs to prove their truth. Not necessarily. The court can dismiss it saying this is a basis of opinion. They do not have to go forward with it. Failure to state a claim. If it's like just an opinion, if I just say, you're ugly, and all of a sudden, I know I don't give the best examples. You didn't have to do that, Smalls.
I didn't mean to. That's why I muted my mic. I didn't mean to. It just caught me off guard. You're ugly. Okay.
Yeah. If I just go, you're ugly, and then you say, oh my gosh, now this beauty brand doesn't want to work with me because boss attorney Bri said I was ugly, and then you sue me for defamation and say, I am not ugly. Look at me. I'm beautiful. The court is going to say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Your case is dismissed. It doesn't get to go forward. That's the 12B6 rule of failure to state a claim. So in order to go forward on defamation, it has to be a fact. We watched this happen in who is it? Samantha Markle and Meghan Markle. That case did not go forward because her claims were opinion-based, not facts. So I hope that makes sense. Katie Gray says, I saw that there was a transcript of the TikTok video that Kitty made attached to her response. I don't know if it's at the end. I haven't looked. No, I don't think it's at the end. I don't think we have it. Tanya D says, welcome to the new members. Yes, of course. Thank you for that reminder. Marissa says, I do not have a bingo card. And Kimmie just disappeared. And I did not make her disappear. You're muted. I cannot hear you. Can you hear her, Smalls? No.
I cannot. I thought she was going to start signing for a second.
Okay. Are you back? Okay. We'll let her come back. We'll bring you back up, Carolyn. All right. There we go. We'll let Kimmie figure out her mic stuff. It's the static. Yeah. It's the static again. I'm sorry. Kimmie has the bingo game and she has the rules. So once we can get her mic working, we can let y'all know the rules. I have not even opened the link myself, so I don't even know what these bingo cards look like.
I know how bingo works. I don't know exactly how Kimmie did it, but I know how streaming bingo works because we were gonna do it for Black and Sick. But Kimmie, if you want to message me on Discord or shoot me a message, I can. If you can't get your mic together or something,
Okay.
just let me know.
I haven't clicked on the link, so maybe we'll just all go look together. Tiny D says, have you hit the like button yet? If you haven't, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much, Tanya, for the reminder. Let's actually see where we are. I set our like goal for the stream for 100 likes. We're shooting for the stars. We are at 65 likes with 42 people watching live. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps us out in the algorithm, and I get to play my wonderful animation that I have not fixed yet with a sound. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It supports the channel and it's free. Like, it's free. Don't hit the thumbs down button. That's not nice. Okay. And if you do, I'm going to sue for defamation. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
When I came back in, I all I heard was "You're ugly." I was like,
Yes, that happened. I was given an example of an opinion-based defamation case that would fail. It was the first thing that came to my mind. Don't know why, but it did.
it was a very bold statement.
It is a bold statement. I was just like, let me go
Just tell
with
us how
something.
you really feel.
It came like it was a bad example, but it turned out to be a good example with all the other explanation. Okay, we have Bean Brains. I like that name, saying that video of her admitting to the wellness check was something else. I don't think I've seen that video. Bean Brain says it's conservative aunt. That's who she was following. Yes. Bean Brain says because his name is Anthony and he's a conservative. Thank you. Oh, it was conservative. Carolyn and I were like, conserviant? Conservative aunt? Because it sounds fancy. That's kind of embarrassing. Thank you, Bean Brain.
It's immortalized on the internet forever.
That is kind of embarrassing. They could have put like an at in front of it and maybe we would have gotten that one. But thank you, Bean Brains. Oh. Okay, Alexis Carney says, personally, I get wanting to distance yourself from someone you don't have value or you don't have value alignment with if you're both being referred to in the same way. Yes, and I thank Smalls again for catching us back up and letting us know that there was already some discourse going on there. Crystal Yo says, so again, this was some high school BS. Yes, grown people fighting on the internet over high school drama, over TikTok. Lexus Carney says, I don't know the person on the bottom's name, but I agree wholeheartedly with your point about calling out discrimination. That's when Smalls was at the bottom.
Hello, my name is Smalls.
Yes, Smalls, hella swanky. She changed her name. Crystal Yo says, if you get defensive, you're unidirectional. Makes sense. I think we were talking about that earlier. Marissa says, my small town, the minority group is Native. I didn't meet other races until the last 10 years in real life. I am always happy to have someone correct me because if they don't, I will keep messing up. And that does happen a lot because when I went to college, I went to an HBCU where most of the people there were Black, and the only people that were there I'm not going to say the only people, that most people that were not there, the most people that were not Black that were there on like sports scholarships, right? And so I worked with the baseball team, but I grew up in California, right? So I know that there's different people that are Hispanic. But anytime you would talk to someone that did not grow up in that area, if they grew up in Texas, okay, they grew up in Texas, they'll be like, oh, that Mexican person. And I'll be like, that dude is Dominican. That dude is Puerto Rican. Like, why are you calling him Mexican? Because he speaks Spanish? Like, you know, other people speak Spanish, right? So definitely if you grow up in a space where you're not used to seeing different kinds of people, you don't really know that there are different type of people. Like, I swear they did not know what Asian people were. Like, they could not distinguish any different race that was not Black, white, Mexican.
This is Grambling, huh?
Yeah.
I did grow up in a like predominantly like white community. I went to school that like in my grade we only had like a handful of people that weren't white, and so like I feel the first time I actually got exposed to other cultures was when I went away to college. And when I was in high school, I always thought that I was just like I had a complete understanding of like what racism was, and I wasn't racist. I was not hateful towards anyone. And then when I went to college, it was just, oh, I don't have an understanding of what's hurtful or offensive, and that's where I feel a lot of people tend to be. If you're not exposed to more of it, you end up thinking that, well, I'm not malicious. I'm not doing this to hurt anybody. Therefore, I'm not transphobic or racist or any of the things that we don't want to be labeled as.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it happens a lot. And I was confused because I've grown up here. So there's all kinds of different people and you're exposed to it young. But there, I was just like, how come I told you like last week that guy is Venezuelan? Why do you keep calling him that? So it happens a lot. Alexis Carney says, and I'm bi. So for Lauren to say, oh, bi people can't be transphobic, I was like, B word. I've seen bi people be biphobic. Yes, that is a thing. That is a thing. Crystal Yo says, when people get defensive, it shows immediately. True. Kristen at first say, and that's why her first instinct was to file for defamation because she was offended that she offended people. What a way to react. J. Michael RN says, oh, please don't mix up sane women with insanity personified. Zoe B says, this is a beautiful conversation. Applaud you all for speaking openly about how we are all growing and need space to communicate. Thank you for that compliment. Crystal Yo says, I'm disabled, but he went up with a blind, or I'm disabled, but he grew up with a blind mother who taught me everything. I have to remember I can't do everything sometimes. My physical won't let me. Well, I'm glad you had a great mother to help you grow up. Marissa says, heck, you can't be parents with one accent in a different country and have children without the accent of the culture they're in and not be the one at home. That happens a lot though. When people immigrate here, the culture tends to be lost. That's why I don't like when people say that Black people have no culture because, we were brought here and no one kept the culture alive. And then we see people immigrating here later on and that tends to happen to them as well. The culture kind of dies out. You see it happen in a lot of times with Hispanic people. They might not teach their kids to speak Spanish. And then when their kids get older, they are upset because their parents never taught them to speak Spanish, and other races as well, too. Upside Down says that was progress. Kayla Eloisa says great combo. Zoe B says cultural enlightening. Yeah, that was really good discussion, y'all. Alex Carney says, Smalls, I'm deaf, multi-generational deaf, and my family has lots of ableism in it. Yeah. Alexis Carney says, I love your points in this live to Smalls. Robin, I don't want to mess up your last name, says conversation, LOL, communication, always a good thing. Yes, yes. MZ says, and none of this is AI generated. Thank you. I'm glad you do not think that we're robots.
Even though it was crackling. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to do bingo rules before you go off the air?
No, I'm so annoyed. That means the issue is my mic, and I have a nice mic. That's why I kept changing everything else, because I assumed my mic was fine. So, yeah, I mean, when we get to Bri Hive Bingo, the B is the free space. The other spots are for as they're said, like as it happens in the case, then we'll like do it. I think maybe it'd be a good idea in the chat, like when people notice it, to say that, so that I can be sure on mine to mark it off and count it. And I think maybe closer to when we play, I'll explain what like an individual square means.
Okay. Are we supposed to be starting now so that we can get as many squares as possible, or is it for?
So they're except for, well, yeah, we can start now. So then, yeah, let me share my screen real quick because most of it is from the cases.
Yeah.
But let me see.
Because I might have already said some stuff.
Well, yeah. So Bri Hive bingo. I think maybe you should like start from now. I'm not sure. Chat, let me know if you think it should like start from now or if you want to do retroactive. Okay. Juris issue.
Retroactive.
What?
I was saying I think we should do retroactive, so folks who are already here, you get like a little bonus. Like if you remember that it happened.
I agree.
Like a perk for being here the whole time.
Fair enough. So then we'll do retroactive if something happened already, y'all. So juris issue, jurisdiction, I think $29 is self-explanatory. DMCA, go Janet. So, I mean, if y'all think that maybe Janet made a really good point on something, or Jeanette Braun, if you think she made a really good point on something, maybe you think one of the lawsuits, like the lawsuit as a whole, she did well. Whatever. We have a go Janet thing. We don't want to be like biased here. She could do well. Results. So for each of the cases, I also have the results. I thought it would be fun for people to guess based on what they thought. And whatever you guess in the chat is going to be your square. So if you guess that Janet won the case or lost the case or that the case settled, whatever you say in the chat, that counts as your square. But it's kind of an honor system. Lanham Act, robot, bunny, alpha sighting. Because I mean, sometimes alpha comes on street. If we see him. Spicy breeze, pretty self-explanatory. Wild request. Let me see if there's anything that's not self-explanatory.
The $29 one is not self-explanatory. I don't know what that is, and neither does Tanya D.
When you hear
$29, then it counts.
Is that like
one of the cases?
Chat?
Yeah, it's in the case. No, it's in. Yeah, this except for stuff like Spicy Brie or Alpha Sighting, bingo is based on the cases. So $29. When we get to the spot, when we say $29, then
it's literal. It just means like okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like it costs $29 to download these court filings, and so every time I didn't know. Okay, I got it.
No. Yeah, it's literal. So Fox, info and belief when they say that. Social media, when super chat. So Bri gets a super chat. Copyright, like goal, summon a. Oh, yeah, law tuber. So, because I mean, sometimes they show up. Who knows?
Yeah.
Fibber face, I guess. So, fibber face, that one is like when someone's being accused. That one's not as direct as some of the other ones. Damn it, Janet is for the opposite of go, Janet. Like, if we think, like, what if, I mean, actually, damn it, Janet is self explanatory.
Yeah.
If there's a typo or mistake, shade, if we get a new member. And then defam is defamation.
Okay. And so how do we mark the squares?
So you click on them. It just, boop, it'll do a little X.
Oh, cool. Well, we got a couple already. We got DMCA.
Mm-hmm.
We got copyright.
Because everybody has different bingo cards, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're the same squares, but different. Whatever.
Randomized, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got a new member already.
Where?
It's at the bottom.
Okay.
And we said defamation a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We said social media.
See this? We're about to be done with bingo already. That's why I was thinking maybe not.
See, well, this go ahead and start chanting.
Well, this was my question, Kimmie. Are there multiple bingo cards? So are there going to be some that like some people don't have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if somebody has
they're the same. They're the same 25 squares, but in different orders. So like,
so I would make like 50 options, and then that way you have some where
there's
some people get the squares, but not everybody does, depending on what gets generated.
Yeah, if I had thought of that, maybe. But like the reason I was late is because I realized that with these cases, the Janet's clients, like, they have nothing to do with it. And so I wanted to redact all of that information, but I didn't think about that until like too late. And it took me a long time. So for the future, that would be a good idea. I didn't think about it today.
Yeah,
I know that we
okay.
have, I mean, everybody has them in a different order. So people could still win like before other people, but
for sure.
yeah,
We can do it like that in the future, make it a little bit more difficult. That's usually how I've seen it done. So just because you can play longer, because like some people will get it, some people won't. So
yeah,
this is a good start though.
I was supposed to say robot.
Robot?
I did say robot. I said, someone said it's not even AI, and I said I'm glad that you don't think we're a robot. But if you don't want to give it to me, fine.
well, because in the case, so I'm not going to give it to you.
Fine.
I said robot in the case.
In the document.
Fine.
With the allegedly 1 million or how many million views or whatever.
But also, if y'all scroll up, if you do win, you can just reset it and then keep playing, I guess. But yeah, so today's Bri Hive Bingo beta.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
trying.
there we go.
Halfway through
Beta
the stream. We're just now starting.
It's been a whole day. Like, we didn't
When
read
I-
my pores.
When I made the suggestion to do it retroactively, I didn't realize that everybody had the same card. So that was my fault for not, I assumed. I should not have assumed. Because then we could have started from now. That was my bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, we can reset. Like, what is everyone thinking?
We have 2 more cases to go through, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, let's just let this be the beta. Like, let's just see how it goes, and then if we need to somebody wins,
What if
then
we
we'll
never
reset
win?
for
What
that.
if we just go all the way around and never win?
Then we would have blackout, right?
Well,
Isn't that
Because, like, are we really gonna summon another LawTuber tonight, or see Alpha tonight, or Bunny?
I mean, one of those you have more control over than the other, but
I don't know where that man is. Oh man, I told him to join, but he didn't want to come. He said I don't have enough room anymore.
Like destined to be square away from a bingo.
Really,
But she doesn't want to reset.
no. Okay, so then,
But
Oh
Okay.
my god!
okay, we're resetting. Sorry, executive decision. We're resetting because, yeah. All right.
Not fair. Not fair. Anyways, let me finish these chats so we can go to the next case. Marissa says, honestly, best/race/prejudice/difference discussion I've heard. Usually it ends up with people yelling. No, I think everyone's pretty respectful here. And I'm going to just switch the screen because we're blocking out Carolyn.
Oh yeah.
Crystal Yale says, I'm disabled but grew up. I think I got this one already. Grew up with a blind mother. Oh, because it was a typo. She taught me more than sighted people. I'm now physically disabled. Yeah, I'm happy she was able to help you. And it's difficult to, I don't know how to say it. It's difficult to be. Why are you laughing?
Sorry, Tanya said boo. I'm sorry.
Oh,
No, I'm
we're
sorry.
not
I wasn't
laughing at your struggle.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying it's difficult to, be perfect. Sometimes you're gonna say racist things. Sometimes you're gonna say ableist things. Just gotta learn from it. Alexis Carney says, I'm white but mixed, so my experience with racism is that I had to first learn proximity doesn't equate to lived experience, as my dad is native descent and not white. That makes sense. Kayla Eloisa says, man, I just watched the Amanda Seales interview today, and this conversation was a good follow-up. I watched part of it just on like TikTok. Crystal Yo says, I want to be corrected. It leads to growth. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You just have to grow from it because you're not going to always say the right thing. Trust me. Kayla Eloisa says, that's community and a safe way to call people in and learn. We all need that. Yes, I agree with that. Alexis Carney says, I've also been learning that because I have now not lived experience on racism. I think it's no lived experience. Yeah. Okay. I don't understand it. Therefore, I've stopped trying to relate to racism to understand it because I can't relate. Same. Marissa says to Alexis, I can't understand it, but if people want to educate, I'm always eager to learn. My biggest takeaway is that one person feels the next doesn't, so it's often individual. Robin says, a correction or giving another point of view. I think it could be both. It might be corrections for some and different point of view for others. Different point of view, yeah. Because if someone that's really, I don't think anybody should say the N-word, but like if a non-Black person says the N-word, it's going to be a correction. That's not going to be a different point of view. Crystal Yost says, my son is mixed and he and his friends were calling Evite monkeys. I sat down and explained why no, it's not okay. I'm glad you sat down and explained that. Upside Down says, I'm 36th generation Blackfoot. Being a colorful mix of everything, I get different reactions from different peeps. You're on the bingo card. They named you. You don't see him. You do not see him, so you do not get that square. Kimmie did it. Alpha said, thank you for including him in the game.
No, he's not included if he doesn't come.
He walked away.
He's only included-ish, but he's welcome, I guess.
Yes. Alexis Carney says, I feel like I might always be racist, not in a want to be racist way, but in a decolonizing is a lifelong journey way. Like, for example, I just learned long time no see is racist. I did not know that. Alexa says, I'm constantly learning words I say are wrong. I just learned the origin, that MF cursing, and I'm trying to eradicate that from my language now. Yeah, that one's really bad. Alexa says, it's very racist regarding slavery and Black people and forced relations, the MFer word. And I never knew until Dara Star Tucker video recently. We're not going to explain it on the live stream, but if you want to know, I'm sure someone would explain it. Crystal Yost says, you can't control how other people feel. That's true. Amy Evans says, I went through a lot of school with psychology and counseling and learned you can't make everyone feel something. Yes, that is true too. Marissa says, I am part Native as well and haven't heard these things either. I am Canadian though, and I know a lot of racism began before Canada existed as a country. Upside Down says, Natives didn't have citizenship on our own land until 1924 and couldn't vote until 1965. J. Michael Arian says, why is prettyism promoted? I know I'm ugly. At least be confident. So why is that offensive, right? Jazzy G says, what HBCU did you go to? I went to Grambling State University. Marissa says, OMG, until I had American friends, I had no clue that food was referred to by race and country. I was so confused being told Mexican for dinner. Like, what is that? It's Black people food. That is kind of bad, but it's because America is so mixed with different cultures and different races, and you want a specific type of food. They refer to the actual race or culture that it came from. I don't think
just wondered if like you go to another country and they say like, hey, you want to get American food tonight or something? Like,
yes, it happens, and it is always usually terrible food because they have a very stereotypical view of what like American food. I can't blame them. I cannot blame them. But it all comes from like movies and like, you know, American media. So like, yes, you can go to other countries and be like, oh, you need American, and then you go there and you're like, what the F is this? And it's like a hot dog mixed with like it's wild. I've never not once seen like, oh, this is the American spot, and you go there and you're like, yes, this is actual American food. And I think that's usually because most American food is like a hodgepodge of so many cultures, right? Like the
Mhm.
stereotypical
Mhm.
stuff is like hot dogs, hamburger, like, like really weird stuff. But yes, it does
Yeah.
happen, Carolyn.
But like to that point, with everybody that I've interacted with from other countries, when they try our version of their food here, they also are like, "What the f is this?" Like, I have yet to go to a place with someone from that country and then being like, "Oh, this is actually really good." Well, I did that once with an Indian
You have to
restaurant.
find it because my husband is African and he went somewhere for school this last couple of months and he was like, "Oh yeah, I found a good African spot." So you just have to find it. I think because a lot of people that make the cultural food are actually from that culture. So
Yeah.
it may not be like the exact same as mom and dad makes. Like, oh, don't talk to me about gumbo in Louisiana. Like that gumbo is not gumbo. I don't care what nobody says. My dad's family is from Louisiana and our gumbo is better than the gumbo. Any gumbo I've tried in Louisiana has not been good. I'm sorry. Smalls what? Maybe I haven't been to the right places.
All right, you went to Grambling, but I went to Xavier.
Okay.
You know Xavier's in New Orleans.
Yes.
So I spent like almost a decade in New Orleans in southern Louisiana.
But they had some nasty ones too, didn't
Your
they?
daddy's gumbo is probably lovely. It is probably great. I do not doubt that. But for you to come up here and just denounce all of Louisiana gumbo, Bri, now you know better than that. You know better than that. You are
Yes, he's
actively
calling
trying
me
to get a
out.
rise out of me. You are playing games. Don't, man.
Rogue attorney, man.
Rogue attorney Bri. That
Right.
should have been on the bingo card.
Just all of Louisiana gumbo though? Everybody's mama's gumbo is nasty, Bri? Everybody? Okay, all right.
Y'all,
Okay,
I think
that was probably a stretch, but I still think my dad's gumbo is better than theirs. But
I'm not like don't get me wrong, like I don't love like New Orleans food, like don't get me wrong, right? Like, and I also think my dad makes the best ribs like on the planet, right? Like
yeah,
I don't care what anybody says about Kansas City barbecue, Tex. I don't care what nobody says. Like everybody who's ever had my dad's ribs has agreed with me, regardless of where they're from. So I get like when you like your own parents, like I like my granny's dressing. I don't think it's the best in the world, right? But I'm not about to like denounce other people's like barbecue and gumbo. Like all of Louisiana, that's a whole state, bro.
okay. I may have gotten taken away. I can apologize, but I did not have any gumbo that topped my dad's.
How long were you in Louisiana? How
I was
many
out
times
there
did you
for
have
4
gumbo?
years. For 4 years.
How many times did you have gumbo in Louisiana?
Several times. I even went to New Orleans and tried to have something that, to tell you the truth, the one I had in New Orleans.
Okay, so you went to restaurants to get the gumbo?
I went to a New Orleans restaurant for gumbo. And
No, you got to go to somebody's mama house. What are you doing? You can't go to nobody's restaurant. What are you doing? You got to go to. No, you got to go to somebody's mama's house. No, that's not how it works. The good food is not in the restaurant because you got to think about it. They have to make the food so that like white people can eat it. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you got to keep that like at the restaurants. Like that's what most American restaurants, they got to make it so that like it's palatable for the people who are buying it in the restaurants. And that's usually white tourists.
Well,
you got to go to somebody's mama house.
I have, and I just haven't had anybody that beat my dad. Are you trying to say that?
Okay. Are you saying beat your dad, or are you saying it wasn't good?
It hasn't beat my dad. That's why I said I might have taken it too far. The first statement.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue with you on that.
The home one.
I'm gonna argue with you on that. Okay. I mean, I think my dad's gumbo beets your dad's gumbo, but we don't have to go there tonight. Like I'm gonna just let you have your gumbo. I'll have mine, and we let the white people have the restaurant gumbo. Okay.
Hey, I want the good stuff.
Okay, Kimmie, you can also have some gumbo.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I learned from experience that I cannot handle beyond the restaurants.
Good.
I'm too white for
Too spicy.
like going back to the Indian food where it's like eating food with a guy like from India, him preparing me a dish from his country, and like I was crying, and he felt so bad because I was crying, and I'm like,
Sweating
oh
and
no, I always cry when I eat. This is totally normal for me.
Not I always cry when I eat.
Oh, I'm always sweating with like water streaming down my face. Yeah, no, this is
So
totally
happy.
normal. Yeah, so happy. All these spices, all this flavor. Yeah, I get it.
Oh my god, I got one more chat, y'all. I'm like crying on this live stream. Crystal Yo says, Bri, it's the ignorance for me that people stay in their bubble and don't care to learn they are ignorant and offensive. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that, y'all. Okay.
Okay, so a couple things, just real quick. So do we want to count that as spicy Bri or shade or like both? What are we doing? Because I feel like that was too much to not get something on bingo.
I feel like that was more spicy small, so I would go shade.
Okay, we'll get okay. So chat, you can mark off the thing that says shade. All right, fair enough. So as we're going through the case, how do we want to do bingo? Do you want me to like say or point out if something happened? Should we wait for the chat? Like, how do we? What's your preference?
You can point it out. I would say drop it in the chat because we are like behind right now.
Okay.
And we got to kind of. What I'm probably gonna do is just one more case.
Okay.
And we can pick which one we want to do, and then go from there. Because we're already like 2 hours in, and I've already been summoned, and I'm not gonna be done anytime soon. So,
okay.
Yeah, let's do one more case, and you can drop it in the chat, and then people in the chat, if you catch it first, you can definitely drop it in the chat too. So,
okay, yeah.
No, bad idea, good idea.
No, I was thinking like about the like banners, or maybe we could do something there. But yeah, so chat though, if you see something, make sure to call it out, because I don't know if I'm going to do all the work for you to tell you. So if the chat calls something out, I will confirm it. And maybe I'll do like the ticker or something, like confirmed if the chat calls it out. But I'm not going to be volunteering it. Bri Hive, y'all got to pay attention and play.
You got to pay attention.
Can I just say, John Smith, I don't know who you are or who you think you're talking to telling me gumbo isn't spicy. Two things can be true at once. Your Indian food can be spicy. Gumbo can also make you sweat and cry. That's all.
Uh-oh. What did I do? Why
I guess like
are my tech issues contagious?
I guess as a white person, I shouldn't be declaring what is spicy, like commentary. So I don't get to declare spicy Bri.
Oh.
I get to declare spicy weather though.
Yes.
I feel like you haven't had like real spicy food unless you've had like African food, or
there it is.
Like African food be like kicking people's ass.
Oh, they be cracking me up too. That his aunts
Which
are always like, "You like pepper?" I'm like, "Yes, I like pepper." Like, I don't know.
Because like compared to like most Americans can't handle that level of spice, you know? And I get that, but like
no, we eat spicy.
like Jamaican food, Caribbean food. Oh my God.
Yeah, they're always surprised that I eat it. And I'm like, yes, put some more pepper in there, actually. I could be happy about it later, but you know. But anyways, what case do you guys want to cover? We got 2 Jeanette Braun cases. Kimmie has already reviewed them, so I don't know if you want to put your insight on it. I'll give you all the names. We got robocalls. Is that a order, or that's just an order, or is that for the case? The same case.
Oh yeah, I named them weird, but brainstorm and robocalls are the same case.
I don't think I have something from brainstorms.
Hang on, I'll share the link with you in private chat. Okay, so one of them is Janet's client is suing somebody who did a DMCA takedown against them. Janet's position is that the other DMCA claim is bogus. It's fake. They messed with my business. That's what that is. On Etsy. That's not a video one. It's on Etsy. And then the other one, Janet's client is saying that another person copied a course that he created about robocalling and making money, and you like messed up and you're mad because I kicked you out of the community, yada yada. You're copying me now. Stop it. So those are the brief overviews.
Okay, so do we want to cover robocalls or do we want to cover copyright? I feel like we should cover copyright. Like,
okay, so that's
copyright.
the Etsy one then. And then hang on, let me make sure though that you have the most updated.
Does Janet literally have 2 cases out right now that contradict each other? Is that what I'm hearing?
So these are old cases. They're not out now. I already know.
Or okay, but still, so she had one position and then now she literally has the okay.
Well, I don't know. Does she? Like, we'll see.
I thought she just became, it's 2021. No, okay. I got 3 different cases. We got Etsy, we got robocalls, and you said Brainstorm and robocall is the same case.
Yeah, if they're in the same folder, it's the same case.
I didn't have any folders. Maybe I did.
And Drive, yeah, they're categorized by folders.
We have a vote for the copyright.
Okay, so the link that I just sent you, Bri, that the last one, click on that. That's what we're doing.
I got Etsy.
Yep.
The first amended complaint?
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
But I gotta hop off. I gotta get up early. But thank you for having me on, and thank you for posting all of this. You are great.
No problem. Thank you for joining us. I hope we see you on the next one.
Yeah, I'd love to be on the next one. All right, bye.
Have a good night. Get some sleep.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, y'all. Let's go ahead and jump into this because
bring in Bossy.
Oh yeah, that's what I was getting ready to do.
Hey, we summoned a LawTuber though. Okay, so then let me. Okay, y'all.
You saw Runkle.
Where is it on ours? There
we
go.
Cool.
Thanks, Runkle. Are you ready? I'm all yours again.
Hey, Runkle, you are on the go card. Runkle, you can join if you want. Well, I'm trying to get done fast. I know Runkle talks. So
don't we all?
No offense. Okay, let's jump in. We got Secret Boutique and Phi is suing Haynes. It's an amended complaint with a jury demand endorsed here on. Now comes plaintiff Boutique and Haynes, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is an action arising under 17 USC, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. Remember, she was doing, Braun was doing DMCA takedowns against the TikTokers, and now someone has done one against her client. According to this court, accordingly, this court has federal question jurisdiction over the subject matter of the action. Venue is in the district. The district is proper under 28 USC. And so remember, when we're talking about jurisdiction, you can have diversity jurisdiction. They're saying that this is jurisdiction under federal subject matter because they are talking about the Copyright Act, which is federal law. Okay? We're not going to read that part. Kimmie told me only to read the highlights. This court has personal jurisdiction over defendant. Defendant has had sufficient minimum contacts with Ohio because she knew or had reason to know submitting DMCA takedown request against Etsy shop owners for the short phrase, "But did you die?" was improper. That's what they're suing over. That's the statement for copyright. I don't know if that's copyrightable. On February 25th, 2022, defendant declared in a comment on February 23, 2022 video that, and I'll do it again in response to a shop owner's comment at Handle on TikTok who explained to defendant, Etsy removed my listing because you claimed you have the rights to it. The words are not trademarked and the design/copyright is nothing alike. Exactly. When you're talking about a phrase, you are looking more towards trademark, not copyright. You can't just copyright a phrase, okay? On March 4th, 2022, TikTok creator posted a video response to defendant's comment on March 1, 2022, posted by said creator, explaining to defendant that she does not have copyright or trademark right to the short phrase, "But did you die?" spelled D-Y-E. Okay. At least 2 of the defendant's peers told defendants her acts were unlawful. Defendant knew or had reason to know she was submitting false DMCA takedown requests and knew that damage was false. Was the damage the false request would cause Etsy shop owner. Okay, wait. Make sure I'm understanding this right, Kimmie. This is someone suing Jeanette Braun's client or Braun suing.
No, Braun's the plaintiff. So Jeanette Braun's client is suing somebody who filed a DMCA against Jeanette's client's Etsy shop.
Okay.
So Jeanette Braun is saying that was a false DMCA and suing over it.
Okay, making sense. So she's basically hypocriticaling her own self in the, what do you call it, one with Lauren the Mortician. Let's see how she explains it and, can explain away the DMCA and why it's not correct. And maybe, just maybe, the TikTokers can use this if their case go for it, or at least Kitty if her case goes for it. At least 2 of the defendant's peers told defendant her acts were unlawful. Defendant knew or had reason to know she was submitting a false DMCA takedown request and knew the damage the false request would cause to the Etsy shop owner. Oh, you know about damages, right? And also that it's not copyrightable. You know that phrase is not copyrightable. So why would you think that your client's comment on TikTok under her own video is copyrightable? But let's go on. Plaintiffs lost business opportunities and suffered damages to their reputation in the industry because of defendants' actions. Minimum contacts with the state are established because defendants' acts done outside have consequence and effects within a particular and suffice as a basis of jurisdiction in a suit arising from those consequences. Defendants' acts were specifically directed at plaintiff's business, which is located in blank. Defendant acts are seriously harmful and were intended to harm plaintiffs. Defendants' minimum contacts with this jurisdiction have been established. They go on to talk about the plaintiff's business. That's a limited liability company, and they're looking for an injunctive relief, and they want money, basically. Okay, that's the defendant. Defendant Haynes is an individual who, upon information and belief, defendant owns and runs an e-commerce business. Upon information and belief, social media account is intended to be the social media account of her business. Do we have upon information and belief on the bingo card? Oh, sorry. Am I not supposed to call them out?
Oh no, you can call it out. We do have information and belief on the bingo card.
And I think we also had the DMCA earlier. Or yeah. I didn't say it, but I just read the full name of it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to be secretive with the bingo card, and I'm marking them off, and later we can do it, but I'm just not going to tell everyone in chat when it happens. But you guys, go ahead.
Okay.
Kill it.
I felt proud of myself. Okay.
Yeah, you got them.
I just wanted to double back. We are at 77 likes, y'all. Our like goal for the stream is 100 likes. We have to reach our like goal so we can get the square on the bingo card. We have 46 people watching live. So if you have not hit the like button, please do. It definitely helps us out in the algorithm, gets more friends watching. And, we have fun over here. So there's that. Okay, let's get back into it. Background: Plaintiff Phi has owned the small business Plaintiff OTB since at least as early as May 2020. She predominantly sells digital download designs for printing onto clothing and fabric. Plaintiff Phi owns Etsy shop Blank. Although Phi owns and operates the website Blank, the vast majority of Phi's income from her business comes from her two Etsy shops. Phi, owner of OTB, owns the copyright to a hand-drawn bunny. The copyright registration, blah, blah, blah. Hand-drawn bunny is the title of this copyright registration. I believe bunny is on the bingo card.
It sure is. Can I actually, real quick?
Show it.
Yeah, Bri Hive, we might beat you because, oh wait, I shouldn't have done that. Well, I don't know. If we get like goal, we'll have a bingo. That would be pretty exciting.
Yeah. So, I thought bunny was for the blonde bunny.
Or maybe no, bunny is the image, but I mean, Yeah, so we've got DMCA, bunny,
bunnies.
info and belief, social media, copyright, summoning a law tuber, fibberface, shade. I think that's all we got for now. Okay.
Okay.
Back to you.
Just to catch it up. Okay. Oh, how do you do the back to you thing?
I just
I can,
added
like,
yours
flip-
back to stage.
Oh, makes sense. Okay. Where are we at here? Plaintiff sells the digital design for a hand-drawn bunny. OTB has sold over 6,000 downloads of her hand-drawn bunny. OTB combined the short phrase, "But did you die?" with the popular hand-drawn bunny and listed the design for sale on Etsy. Defendant submitted a DMCA takedown request to Etsy. When you highlight just the first word, you want me to read everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Defendant submitted a DMCA takedown request to Etsy for plaintiff bunny and phrase, but did not include a copy of the copyright registration in her DMCA takedown. Did you include one when you said that comment was copyrightable? I don't think so. 18, FC complied with defendant's DMCA takedown request and removed plaintiff's bunny and phrase listing, causing plaintiffs to lose sale. Plaintiff's bunny and phrase did not infringe any of defendant's copyright rights, and plaintiff lost the ability to sell their own copyright registered hand-drawn bunny design during the spring and Easter selling season. Geez, that sucks. Which is the popular season to sell bunny designs. Yeah, makes sense. The defendant sells an Easter egg design with the short phrase, "But did you die?" where the O in you is an Easter egg. Sounds cute. Plaintiff's bunny and phrase design is completely different than defendant's egg design. Defendant asserted copyrights against plaintiffs for a short phrase, which copyright does not protect. That is true. Plaintiffs also sell a design comprising multiple realistic pine trees with the short phrase, "I like them real thick and sprucey," over the trees. A defendant sells a design with the same short phrase imposed over a single unrealistic pine tree design. Defendant tree design is completely different than plaintiff's tree design. Oh, they both had tree designs. Defendant submitted a DMC takedown request on Etsy to remove plaintiff's tree design, again alleging copyright infringement for a short phrase, which copyright does not protect, and defendant did not include a copy of the copyright registration in her DMCA takedown request. Including the registration is not really necessary. You can, but it's not really necessary. Etsy complied with defendant's DMCA takedown request and removed plaintiff's tree design listing, causing plaintiff to lose sales.
Isn't it interesting that they're arguing that a platform will take down something based on a DMCA complaint, even if they don't think it's real?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It sounds just like the opposite of what she's arguing in the other case, saying that it's not false and it's not fraudulent. Okay.
How about that?
Very interesting. Okay. On February 22nd, 2022, and this is to the unlawful conduct portion. On February 2022, the Etsy legal department sent plaintiffs a notice of intellectual property infringement under the DMCA and removed their bunny and phrase from the boutique. The notice stated defendants claim copyright ownership of a short phrase, "But did you die?" The short phrase, "But did you die?" is a common phrase in the screen printing / custom apparel community. Defendant replaced the O in the third word "you" of the short phrase with an Easter egg. Defendant's word "die" has markings around the word to illustrate movement shaking of the word. Plaintiff's bunny and phrase design consists of the same words next to plaintiff copyright registered hand-drawn bunny. Let's see. There is an Exhibit E. Do we have that Exhibit E for the comparison of what they look like?
I will look. Let me look.
Okay. Do we have any bingos yet? I don't see anything. Okay. Defendant submitted the notice against the boutique shop alleging copyright ownership over the "But Did You Die" design. On February 28, 2022, plaintiff received a second DMCA takedown notice from Etsy legal department submitted by defendant. The second notice was against the plaintiff's same bunny and phrase design. Defendant again alleged copyright ownership of the short phrase, "But did you die?" On March 1, 2022, plaintiff received the third DMCA takedown notice from the legal team submitted by defendant. This third notice was submitted against the tree one with "I like them real thick and sprucey." That sounds cute though. Defendant sells a design comprising the words "I like them real thick and sprucey" superimposed in front of an image of a single stylized, unrealistic tree. Plaintiff's design consists of the same short phrase superimposed in a group of realistic trees. Defendant submitted the third notice against the boutique shop alleging ownership over the short phrase "I like them real thick and sprucey." Defendant submitted merely a link to the listing in her own shop as evidence of ownership in each of the 3 DMCA takedown requests submitted by defendant against plaintiff. Defendant admits in a comment made on one of her TikTok videos that she is not the original artist of the egg design. Defendant did not submit actual evidence of ownership, such as an assignment or work for hire agreement with any of the DMCA takedown requests. A search of the copyright public records portal yields no records of registrations for either of the 2 designs with the U.S. Copyright Office. On February 23rd, 2022, defendant posted a TikTok video of her TikTok account with the description "Bye Bye Haters." In the comments of this video, defendant claims she has registered her copyright rights. In the same February 23, 2022 TikTok video, defendant states in the comments that she is not the original creator of the designs and that she instead purchased the designs from a third party.
I've got the when you want.
Okay, let's get through it and then I'll show it. And I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm speeding through it. A written agreement transferring ownership of the copyright from the original author to a person is required to transfer copyright ownership of a design not created by the person. The copyright owner must submit official documentation, usually in the form of a copyright registration certificate, to prove the person owns the copyright. Defendant has never provided such documentation. So what copyright registration certificate did they submit for a screenshot of Lauren the Mortician's comment section?
It's a good question.
Probably
and short phrases can't be copyrighted.
Right. But hers was her original I forgot what they classified it as, but it wasn't copyright. Okay. It didn't fall under that definition. I forgot which part of it they original thoughts, I think, is what she tried to copyright, but no.
Yeah.
Defendant is misusing the report forms made available by Etsy. Oh, so maybe she learned that from this lawsuit, allegedly, in my opinion, to report intellectual property infringement by false claiming copyright ownership and causing harm to numerous parties, including plaintiff. Defendant is fraudulently, wow, what a word to use. Defendant is fraudulently misrepresenting to the public that she owns the copyright to these short phrases, thereby insinuating that anyone who uses these short phrases is committing copyright infringement in the course of their business. Defendant actions not only damage plaintiff's personal reputation with the industry, but also the integrity of the plaintiff's OTB business and brand. Plaintiff lost opportunities to sell their products and copyright registered design. And then they go ahead and let you know about the DMCA violation of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. We're not going to read into all of that. Let's see. Then they have the deceptive trade practices, basically saying they own it and they're stopping other people from being able to use it too. They got tortious interference with contractual relationships. They were selling the products on Etsy and they can't sell it anymore. There is a contractual relationship between plaintiff Etsy, as every Etsy shop owner must enter into with Etsy to use the Etsy platform to list and sell their goods. Defendants purposely and intentionally interfered with plaintiff's contractual relationship by filing false DMCA claims. This sounds very similar to what Kimmie said, yeah? But she was wrong.
Yeah.
And why did they take down the listing if she could prove that it wasn't copyright, because like I've said on several live streams, it's easy to get things taken down through DMCA. It's too easy.
Also, Adobe glitched. The 73 line should all be highlighted too.
Oh, sorry.
Defendant
as an Etsy seller and contracting party with Etsy herself under the shop name blank, knew of plaintiff's contractual relationship with Etsy. Defendant purposely and intentionally interfered with plaintiff's contractual relationship by filing false DMCA claims and alleging intellectual property infringement to cause a failure and breach of plaintiff's contractual relationship. Intellectual property infringement is grounds for a breach under the Etsy seller contract. Oh, did she lose her contract? Defendants you mean like how Kitty got blocked out of her account? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, she was kicked off of the platform because of DMCA claims, and that was a contractual violation.
Yeah. I'm gonna say she lost this lawsuit. Are we there yet?
We're not there yet. Who knows?
Let me go. Defendant's intentional interference caused plaintiff to at least lose profits from the listing taken down from plaintiff's Etsy shop and harmed plaintiff's reputation with Etsy and as a seller within the screen print and custom apparel community. No, I'm gonna say maybe she didn't lose it because the DMCA probably was not valid. So let me keep going. Plaintiff's customer who purchased the bunny and phrase to press onto apparel such as t-shirts have had their apparel listings removed after defendant submitted DMC takedown requests for said listings. Plaintiffs have received emails from their customers inquiring about why plaintiff's bunny and phrase design infringes defendant's intellectual properties. Plaintiff's customer believes because of defendant's false DMCA takedown requests that plaintiffs lack integrity in business. So basically they sold them something. Plaintiff sold their customers something that she was not supposed to be selling, which is going to ruin her reputation. Defamation per se. We got another defamation. I think that's on the bingo card.
It sure is.
In defendant's February 23, 2022 TikTok video with the description "Bye Bye Haters," defendant posted the written statement that OTB is suing Etsy because OTB had received multiple notices of intellectual property infringement that OTB had infringed defendant's intellectual property rights. This statement is false. This statement is a false statement of fact and was published. You see how they plead the facts sufficient enough to state a claim? This statement was false, or this statement was a false statement of fact and was published to the general public to view on defendant's TikTok video and damage plaintiff reputation. What were you going to say, Kimmie?
And similarly with the tortious interference with a contract, they also have a contract with them. They know that filing DMCA because they know that I have this contract with this company. I lost this contract with this company because of that, and they know that because of this. Yeah, so it's a little different than whatever that documentary channel is that I guess Kitty knew and interfered with by post. Who knows? It's a little different there, but
yeah. It sounds like you're arguing the opposite, girly. Plaintiffs have incurred injury to their reputation and has experienced damages because of the actions of defendants. Defendant's defamatory statement damages plaintiff's reputation in their trade and occupation by attacking the integrity of plaintiff's business reputation and practices by stating that plaintiffs engage in illegal activity, much like you said about Kitty. Defendants made the false statement of fact with negligence or actual malice, putting them in a false light. Citing the statements made by defendant under count 4 and for defamation per se, and attached here too as Exhibit K, defendant places plaintiffs in a false light by stating that plaintiffs are engaging in practices that habitually infringe others' intellectual property rights, evidenced by the inclusion of the words multiple infringements. In the same statement, Jeanette wrote this? Oh, she knows a little bit of something. In the same statement, the defendant also comments that OTB is suing Etsy, which is false. This comment insinuates that plaintiff would act litigiously upon receiving valid notices of intellectual property infringement. Plaintiffs have not violated any of defendants' intellectual property rights, and this suit is born out of plaintiff efforts to protect itself from false claims of infringement and unprovoked defamatory statements made by defendant in regard to plaintiffs. She should have wrote her own complaint. Why she hired her friend, allegedly? Defendants had knowledge. Oh, you know why? Because she didn't have all these same facts in her favor. She would not have taken her case, in my opinion. Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think that she would have, because they seem to take legal action to scare people, not necessarily because they believe the merits, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Oh, whatever.
Right. Defendant had knowledge that her statements was false. The only reason OTB had received multiple notices of infringement were because defendant submitted the DMCA takedown request herself with knowledge that they were false. Defendant displayed reckless disregard for the truth when she commented a fictitious suit being filed by plaintiff against Etsy, as she did not have personal knowledge of this, and this information would have been widely available through public record in the appropriate jurisdiction and court system. Okay, we got intentional infliction of emotional distress. Defendant owed plaintiff a duty not to misrepresent that plaintiff had violated copyright law. Defendant breached its duty to plaintiff when it intentionally or recklessly caused Etsy to remove plaintiff's design from Etsy Marketplace when defendant misrepresented plaintiffs were violating copyright law. The conduct of defendant was extreme and outrageous. Okay. And then they asked for a jury trial. They would like for this court to issue an injunction against defendant, her officers, agents, employees, and all other persons acting in active concert. Can y'all hear that music?
No.
I can't.
Okay. It's loud. Alpha's tripping down there. Okay. They want the injunction to be restraining her from continuing to falsely claim ownership of copyrights she does not own, restraining her from continuing to file false DMCA claims with Etsy, and requiring her to withdraw false DMCA claims, DMCA claim previously filed, restraining her from continuing to fraudulently misrepresent to the public that she owns the copyright to the "But Did You Die" and the "I like them real thick and sprucey" short phrases, and restraining her from continuing to tortiously interfere with the contracts of Etsy shop owners by filing false DMCA and copyright infringement complaints, and restraining her from making any public statements about plaintiff. That defendant be, they're also asking that defendant be required to file with the court and serve on plaintiffs a statement under oath evidencing compliance with the injunction request, that plaintiff be awarded actual damages, pay them some money, and that plaintiffs be awarded full restitution, pay her for the money she lost and gained from doing this to plaintiffs, and that plaintiff be granted such other and further relief as the court shall deem necessary or lawful and equitable. Okay, that is the end of the case. What do y'all think?
I just started a poll.
Okay.
Do y'all think that Janet won that case or no?
Okay. Let the chat let it talk.
And also,
are we in a bingo card?
Yeah,
we got a few bingos.
Yeah, I can show. Okay. I don't remember what we didn't have last time, but DMCA, go Janet, because I mean there were some good points in there. The chat said there's a go Janet, so go Janet.
Okay.
Bunny, info and belief, social media, copyright, law tuber summoned, Fibberface, damn it, Janet, shade, because, well, yeah, I don't need to explain that. Defamation. So chat, let me know if I'm missing anything. And then for like, what do you think, Bri, that she won or?
Oh, I think I want to say she won because I don't think the DMCA claims are valid, but I don't know.
I don't know. I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
Smalls, what do you think?
I said I think she won, but the more I think about it,
I don't like like not knowing.
I don't either. That's bothering me.
Well, I just don't want to spoil it for chat. Like, I know. I'm just.
We got a couple of answers coming in, y'all. If y'all want to vote in the chat, we got 13 votes, but there's 40 people watching live. So make sure you check out the chat to vote whether you think that Janet won. Janet is actually the plaintiff that is claiming that the DMCA
Was false.
And she's suing the other person for basically damaging her client's business. And like I said, I feel like she should have wrote her own complaint, but I don't think she would take her own. Like, they knew to leave certain things out because they couldn't tell the truth and say, I never liked those things. I never commented those things. And for Janet, no, my copyright filing was legitimate, although it was a photo of a comment section and not a copyright. And I don't have any copyright certification and all of the things.
Yeah.
They didn't
I agree with
explain
Bri
how they
wholeheartedly.
were valid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Let's see what the chat thinks. We got a couple votes coming in. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the chat and see what's going on. I see we got a couple of bingos. We had Dragon Angel had a bingo, and then we had someone else with a bingo. I forgot.
I don't know. Before we jump into chat, do you want to see the Did You Die designs?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually really like the phrase "Did you die?" But like DYE, because I really like the phrase "Did you die?" But did you die though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to say that all the time. Stop driving like that. Okay, but did you die?
Like dye the egg.
Oh,
I
that's
love
actually
it. Cute.
disappointing.
You don't think? I think that's cute for like the little shirts because you're dyeing eggs.
It's cute, but like for a play on words, I don't know. I think it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I just really like the phrase, like, but did you die though? And I think I would have liked like a better play on words. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, I'm percolating on it, but it is cute though. Don't get me wrong. I really like the bunny. I like anything with glasses, like the emoji with glasses, like seeing animals with glasses. I really like stuff like that. So I actually like the bunny design better than
the bunny design is Janet's client. And I asked my niece the other day.
What?
Well,
no, she has a copyright for the bunny drawing.
No, she doesn't have. Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess she has a copyright, but
yeah,
I meant that design was done by Janet's client.
Okay.
Also, I asked my niece the other day. I said, "Did you die though?" And she didn't know what I was talking about. And I was like, sorry, I'm not gonna get a 16. I feel like that's old enough to have watched Hangover by now. I've messed up, y'all. I did my niece wrong to have not shown it to her yet. I'm sorry.
I've never seen Hangover.
Me neither. I just thought that was a phrase.
Y'all don't know
I'm sorry, I lied. I have seen Hangover. Sorry.
I don't think I've seen it. It's not my kind of movie. It was just a lot of white men acting drunk or being hungover. It's just not my kind of movie. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but to know
it's not appealing.
Smalls, I'll send you the original of the Did You Die? Like, it's pretty. That was awful, but it's funny.
All right, that'll work.
Okay, we got the votes coming in. I
also feel like people are voting based on like not liking Janet. I could be wrong though, but I feel like they're just like, do you think she won? No, she sucks.
If you wanted to count for your, well, never mind. We're not going to be that serious about bingo. I was going to say, like, say what you think in chat, but yeah, whatever. Okay. I'm not going to be like the bingo police.
Yeah. Okay. We got Phoenix Waller, a member of the channel, saying this feels awfully like a situation I know of from a decade ago in Second Life, where content thieves would copy content, put it up for sale, then DMCA the original creator. Yeah. No, that's a thing. And that's literally what it seems like they're doing here. And it's not protectable. Okay. Phoenix Wallace says abusing DMCA to eliminate competition. And like I said before, it's very easy to get a DMCA takedown. So the fact that it was granted in the Lauren the Mortician case does not necessarily mean that Kitty committed copyright infringement. And so when she said false claims, I don't think she was wrong.
Also, I don't remember if this clarification was made. But I'm pretty sure that I saw the video that they did a takedown claim on was apparently not the transphobic or the one that was taken down. Like it wasn't that one. It was the like comparison one. I couldn't remember.
It was the one she was responding to something from Lauren the Mortician's comments, and she took a screenshot, and Lauren the Mortician's comment was in the background while she was talking over it. Normal TikTok stuff where you take a screenshot and then you do the green screen. That's what it was. I can't remember exactly what it said and what their excuse was, but it's not a good excuse.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Tiny D says, as someone who has digital products on Etsy, this is very interesting to me. Yeah, because it can happen to you. And some people do use the same phrase, but like different designs. And the reason why it's not copyrightable is because it's a common phrase, right? And phrases are not copyrightable. You would have to go and get a trademark for a slogan or something like that. But just little phrases, titles of books, you can't copyright those things, right? So there's that. Jazzy G says, I have bingo. Okay, we had another bingo. Jazzy G had a bingo. Yeah. Sorry, we don't have any prizes. Jang and Angel has a bingo.
Knowing y'all are the first, like, do you really, is that not prize enough? You are the first.
You are the first bingo winner on the Bri Hive. Tanya D says most phrases and designs can be found in multitudes on Etsy and online. Yeah, agreed. Tanya D says, I needed spicy Bri last time, and that's where I am again. I haven't been spicy tonight. Just been cracking up. Dragon Angel says, I'm afraid to vote wrong since I missed most of the beginning. No problem.
You got a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, true. Marissa says, oh, I'm guessing there is a juris issue done by a robot who charged $29, and that was a wild request. She's basically putting all the words there. So she
right. I mean, I respect the effort, but no to all of it.
Marissa says, oh,
that was a good one, though. That was clever.
I got that one. Jazzy G says, interesting. I haven't seen any typos. Right. I would have thought so after reading her letter, right? Like her letter made me think she was not intelligent, but this complaint is actually very well written.
Maybe she was so mad, like, you know, like maybe she was so mad for like doing this complaint that she was just like furiously typing. And she was like, send, like, yeah, because I think she was like personally offended, like,
yeah,
ego hurt, and I think that's maybe why there's so many typos in her last one.
Yeah,
because it doesn't even seem like the same attorney. It seems like two different people.
No, I would have never guessed.
I would have never guessed. Yeah, exactly. Bri.
Alexis says, okay, speaking of did you die at my twins' wedding, old people were asking when I was next to get married, so I was asking them when they are next to die. When's your funeral going to be? That's some dark humor.
I've been laughing about this since I seen that in the chat, and that's why I had muted myself, and I was sitting over here crying because I'm looking at that thing and I'm dying laughing. When are you next to die? Oh my God. It's like the perfect response, because I hate when people do that. I hate when you're like asking when you're going to get married or asking when folks are going to have kids. Mind your business. Don't worry about it. That is the perfect response. When are you next? When is your funeral? Should we start preparing? Oh my God.
Alexis says, but apparently it's not cool to set limits on old people's lives like they do mine. That's hilarious. But it's true. It's true. Maybe you can't do that. Tiny says, I like the phrase, but I wouldn't buy that design as far as the bunny and the egg thing. Alexis Carney says, I voted based on not liking Janet. Smalls, you are correct. Phoenix Waller says, I didn't vote, but DMCA abuse is def a thing when people think there is competition. Yeah. Or that you said something that they don't like, so we're going to have you take it down. Now, the whole screenshot of a comment thing, I don't know how they got away with that, but they did. Kayla Eloisa says, pull up that Daybell filing. There's a filing on Daybell. That's interesting.
Yeah, so someone tried to intervene in the Daybell case.
The murder
And
You want to
Right.
talk about shade? The judge was big mad and was throwing all kind of shade. He was like, "There's 72 typos in the title alone. What are you doing?"
right.
Oh,
No,
you
the
missed it? You haven't
judge
seen it, Bri?
the judge had
No.
none of it.
I haven't
Oh,
Like-
the judge was so mad.
Mm-mm.
You know how judges are usually like really composed and like they're like,
Mhm.
you know, like almost like poker face because they don't want to like seem like he was upset. He was
Did
upset.
they-
He was pissed.
No, he said you're not just wrong, you're stupid. Not
Yeah.
literally, but he
Oh.
essentially said that.
No,
I
it was like the judge, like you know, like you have a corporate speak for whatever. Like it was like the judge version of like,
Yeah.
you're wasting my time,
Right.
and you're dumb. Like
Yeah.
sit
Yeah.
down. It was very
So
bad.
he tried to intervene, like to become a party to the case.
so
was trying
right
to slow it down.
before the case was supposed to start, he tried to intervene, and he
Mhm.
said on it, like, attorney for defendant, and then later he said,
Multiple
"Oh, that was an
times.
accident. That was an accident."
He did it multiple times though. Like he files this thing as the attorney for Daybell, right? And then multiple times signs that he is the attorney for Daybell. Not once, not twice, like more than 3 times. And then when the judge asked him about it, he was like, "It was an accident because I was using like, what did he say? Like like basically like he was filling in the blanks of like
Like a
some
form.
standard template, like a template, yeah."
Mhm.
And then you know, but then he has all these typos. He, like motion wasn't even spelled correctly. You know,
Yeah.
like the judge was like, "No, you're an idiot, and you also wasted my time. So now you're gonna pay up. Like it's time to write a check."
Yeah.
Yeah, and
What?
he brought
I
an
didn't know
attorney
that.
with him, and so the attorney tried to step in and say, like, "Well, what do you think?" Oh, we didn't mention the person who tried to intervene was an attorney, like an attorney
Mhm.
filing as an attorney, like
Mhm.
for himself or whatever.
Did
And then
you-
he tried to say, "Oh no, I'm just filing as a citizen."
It's
But
like, I should have wrote citizen, judge. That's what I should have put citizen. You
I
should've
mean,
sat
they're
down.
spelled so
Sat
similarly.
down.
So
You
So
should've
the
sat down.
the attorney's attorney tried to like step in and say, "Hey, if I may, judge." Judge goes, "You may not." Like,
Yeah.
he didn't
Have
he literally
several
say,
things.
"I'm done. We're done."
Yeah, he was like, "We're done." He
Yeah.
was like, "We're done." And then he was like telling everybody, he was like, list your fees, like I'll find he was like, "Oh, we're gonna rack
Yeah.
up these charges." Yeah, because it was
Yeah.
like the goofiest thing. And then like the thing is, according to like what is it called? Like rule 11 or rule 7, one of those rules or whatever, right? Like
I think
that
it's
governs
11.
I think it's 11 that governs attorney conduct. And
Yeah.
so like the judge was like, "We're here based on that rule," like, right? And apparently like one of the rules, like one of the things is like you cannot intentionally delay proceedings just for the sake of
Right.
delaying proceedings. And when he asked why he did it, he literally was like, "I was trying to slow it down, judge." Sir, who gave you a law license? Who?
But then he said that he apparently did talk to Daybell's attorney at some point. I don't know,
Yeah.
like,
He
and so
said that-
when he said that he like had talked or consulted or whatever, the camera on Daybell's attorney, he was just sitting there like, do not shut up. I'm not a part.
was
Nope.
like,
Like,
I ain't got
I
nothing to
want
do with me.
none of
Was he
it.
trying to like intervene as what? Like become an attorney or just
He was literally trying to, he said that he was trying to slow down the case. It was moving too fast, going off the rails. I don't know what conversation he had with Daybell's attorney because it seemed like he was trying to throw him under the bus a little bit. But I don't know what was happening, but that's all he said was like he was trying to slow it down. Why? Don't know.
That's
And then
weird.
the fact that he did it at like the 11th hour, right? And not like at the beginning.
On a
The judge
Friday,
was
like,
not happy.
yeah.
And it was like apparently like the first time the like court people had like gotten a day off and like they were able to relax, and it was like Easter Sunday or something. So the
Yep.
judge was like extra mad. Like this was like the worst thing that you could have
Right.
possibly done.
Wow.
I
That
forgot,
sounds
somebody has a
pretty-
video on it, but I can't
I'm
remember
gonna have to
who.
look at
Runkle
that.
does.
Runkle does
I
have a
think.
video on it.
Okay.
Does Natalie Lawyer Chick? I don't know. Somebody has a video on it.
I'm sure multiple people do. It was
Probably.
wild.
Yeah.
MZ says Janet's been lurking in Runkle Spicy streams talking about her. LOL. You think so? Have y'all seen?
I
her
absolutely
post, or
think
is
so.
this
I
guess?
I think Janet has watched every piece of media that is covering this. I believe
think
that. And
so?
even Runkle said something like, I don't know if it was Janet, but yeah, even Runkle was saying like he thinks that Janet's like lawyers are watching his streams and kind of like maybe like using some of his advice, right? Because he was like,
Mhm.
I'm not going to tell y'all what I think. Like, you know, he didn't want to like give advice or like explain it because he was like, I don't want to give them any help. But yeah, I actually do think that they're watching. I do.
That would be insane. Marissa says that was the first time I ever saw a judge do sanctions right there in the court. Upside Down says the attorney was so unprepped. Phoenix Faller says the whole thing was so wild. Upside Down says he's a DP attorney. Defense attorney, I'm guessing. Prior asked him for help. Oh, like to join in to help him on the case, maybe. Marissa says, I think Runkle was the one to break the news in my feed. I'm gonna have to go check out what that is talking about, because I'm like, that is insane. That sounds insane. Okay, y'all. Can we get an answer? Did Janet win or did Janet lose?
Okay, so Janet not only, well, it was a settlement, but in her favor, I suspect, because as part of the, hang on, I'm trying to pull it up. Oh my God, y'all, my computer is just the worst.
Okay, while you do that, I'm gonna say,
yeah, Runkle said it right there. I think Benji has watched my stuff. Yeah, that's the dude's name, Benji. And I think Runkle's right about that the attorney be watching.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and close out the poll. So can you put up a poll? Said, do you think Janet won the case? Talking about the Etsy case. 38% says yes and 62% says no. So tell the truth, chat. Did you vote that way because you don't like Janet?
Oh.
Most people already said they did.
Right.
All right, so... Oh, sorry. I thought I had this together and now it's... There we go. Okay. So, to settle the matter and subject to a confidential written settlement agreement, the parties agree that the defendant or any company the defendant may own or operate shall be permanently enjoined from issuing any copyright takedown notice without seeking the advice of competent counsel. So, not only...
Don't call Jeanette.
Well, I thought that was wild, though, because... Not only do they have whatever settlement, but they're saying, hey, you can't submit any more claims until an attorney says it's okay. Like, what if the tables are turned? Because I said this before, like, why wouldn't Kitty, why wouldn't, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on the strollers? Help me. The expert. Jamie, thank you. Jamie Grayson, like all of these things where they're doing false takedowns. Like, how is that not exactly what she said of, like, competition or bad practices? Like, my mind is blanking.
Like
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
Kimmie.
Deceptive trade practices, et cetera, et cetera.
I'll tell you why. Because Jeanette Braun thinks that she's a competent attorney. That's why they consulted with Jeanette Braun and she said, yep, we're going to submit a DMCA takedown notice. And she's supposed to understand it on this Etsy website lawsuit, but she doesn't understand it when it comes to TikTok videos talking trash about her.
So I have a question. Since she decided as the attorney to become a plaintiff, if Kitty and them wanted to flip the script and sue her, is it possible that she, as an attorney, could have an order saying you, attorney, can't file DMCAs anymore unless you have a second opinion?
I don't think that a court would order that. Like that was an agreement that she agreed to. I don't think even if they would have went through to trial, I don't think a court would have ordered that.
I feel like we should consider, well, maybe not. No,
it doesn't even make any sense. That agreement is so hard. She can easily go to a competent attorney, i.e. Jeanette Braun. She can go to Jeanette Braun herself and say, I would like to file a DMCA notice. And Jeanette Braun, allegedly, in my opinion, speculations may say, do you have $5,000? And she goes, yes, I have $5,000. And then Jeanette Braun, allegedly, in my opinion, speculations, says, okay, I'm going to file a DMCA notice for you. And she's competent. She's an attorney that copyright.
Is she?
I mean, according to her lawsuit, she said it was defamation to say that she was unethical and not competent and rogue and all of the things, right? So Jeanette Braun, practicing copyright law, could easily go, yeah, I'm going to file a DMCA, or yeah, you should file one. So that agreement is the dumbest agreement they could ever come up with. She just has to consult a competent lawyer. Doesn't mean like she has to advise her correctly.
I feel like she's used to like bullying people, because I feel like a lot of times, like when people see something from like an actual attorney, or they think it's they just like automatically fold, right? Like even if you think you're like correct. And I feel like she's gotten so used to doing that. I feel like that's how she's gotten clients. That's how she's been successful, by just going around bullying people and being like, I'm a lawyer. We will sue, do this. And people being like, I ain't really got the coin. So F it. It's not that deep. Right. And I feel like that has like really blown her head up to feel like she can get away with anything. And I agree. I think that's a goofy, like, ridiculous like attempt. And then I saw that Runkle said something about like they couldn't do that without their consent anyway, right? Like the whole that agreement that you just said was dumb. I just feel like she's letting her ego and like her previous wins that they aren't wins, like really drive her decisions here, which is just very silly.
To add on to that, I kind of have like a little bit of a theory, since we're talking about like quirky girls and quirky women rather. Like I could see if when they were younger, they didn't feel like they had a sense of community. They grew up, got social media. They grew up, they got a law degree. Now they have fame. Now they have power. Now they're like, I'm going to show you now. Like, and they're going too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alexis think we're talking about the YMCA song.
Oh yeah, she said it's got the
It's
song
fun to
stuck in
do
her
with
head.
the DMCA.
How do you do it though?
Alexis cracks me up.
Right?
Like her streams are funny too.
Yeah. Tell you, cracking up. Runkle was saying not without their consent. I think he's referring to the injunction that they agreed to. Yeah, okay. I don't think a court would order that. That
was a silly question. I forgot it was a settlement and not like an order.
Yeah. Marissa says, this is my first live on Jeanette. I think so. I voted no because it's hard to win copyright. I think with hers, I think she was correct in saying it wasn't a legitimate DMCA takedown, just like hers and the Lauren the Mortician lawsuit. That one's probably not a legitimate DMCA takedown either. So we may see a settlement coming, at least on that issue, if that even goes forward, right? Because that one, no, because guess what? She's not even suing her for copyright infringement. She's suing her for saying the copyright infringement was yes. Janet is suing her for saying that the copyright claim is false. But Lauren the Mortician is not suing her for copyright infringement.
Right.
Which kind of indicates that maybe it wasn't copyright infringement. Otherwise, if she had a claim, she would have sued her for that reason, right?
One would think.
You would think.
I was about to say nothing is a guarantee with these people. Speaking of Runkle and these people, if y'all think any of this was shady or funny, you should watch Runkle. If y'all have not seen Runkle's videos, because he is like, he's so serious, right? Like, but so shady at the same time. Like, I be sitting there cracking up. I'm like, he is cooking these people with a straight face, like just legal jargon, just cooking them with a straight face. And I'm like, he's like, I think Benji has seen some of my stuff. Yeah, I think you're right.
Probably
10 out of 10. Highly recommend.
That's what the Deb B. Heard lawyers was upset. All of these YouTube lawyers got a lot to say. They're not the ones on the courtroom floor.
People are livid about LawTube existing. Like they need to touch grass.
People like who's livid? Who's mad? Because I feel like it feels very much like like there's this one Stephanie, she has a channel called Wine and Chill, right? She's an attorney and she like kind of demystifies stuff, and she talks about like how like a lot of legal stuff is written in legalese and it's done for the purposes of like gatekeeping, right? And so I feel like that's the people who are mad. Like you're mad because a lot of law tubers are making things simple. They're explaining things, they're making it like accessible to the masses, or putting things in layman's term, or making it like just more accessible. And a lot of people don't like that. A la TikTok censorship, but we won't go there.
Well,
I don't who's mad? Like
mainstream media, who's getting less views.
Oh, okay.
They're real mad. And then similarly, back when it was like Dep v. Heard, the people like since the legal analysis were like, oh, okay, so, and not in favor of Heard. Heard's side was like mad and complaining about, well, they don't know what they're talking about on YouTube. They're just pretty
fake attorneys.
Rogue, yeah.
Gatekeepers get mad. gatekeepers get mad when other people open the gates, right? Like, and I'm saying this as somebody who's like worked in the industry. Like, people really do be mad, like, because a lot of people, like, when the internet was first like budding and like, you know, you could have web shows, like, you know, anybody who knows Issa Rae went from like awkward black girl web things to like having a show on HBO, right? And so like people weren't taking the internet seriously then, and I think people are realizing like the internet is a lot more powerful than folks realize. And I feel like it's gatekeepers who are mad, or folks who were previously able to gatekeep or benefiting from the gatekeeping, who are like, i.e. mainstream media, other journalists. I could see them being mad about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Professions are shifting, I would say that, because they teach you in law school now to make things easy for your clients to understand. And even when we go into court, after I come out of court, I have to rehash the whole hearing that just happened, because what we imagine, I've seen videos like this where the clients, we're in there and they're just sitting there and all they hear is legal, 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 and no legal, legal, and no mother, legal, 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 legal. And it's like, okay, what just happened? And so you have to rehash your attorney. Yeah, exactly. You have to rehash it and explain it into things that they will actually understand. And I mean, it's easy for me because I'm a millennial, but there's other attorneys, their clients don't. They're like, I've been working with this person for 10 months and nothing has happened on my case. And it's because their attorney cannot explain to them, no, all of these things have happened on your case. Or sometimes they just don't do anything on the case. But it just depends on which lawyer you're dealing with. So no, I definitely understand the gatekeeping part of it. And some people, like you said, they don't want it to be accessible to the non-lawyers or the people that are not sitting in court, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that is the end of the live stream, y'all. We are not getting into that third case, but maybe we'll cover it a different time when we have more genocide. And we also didn't cover the other motions to strike. So maybe I'll try to summarize those and bring it back for next week. But y'all, I missed the whole Megan Thee Stallion lawsuit. I don't even know what's going on in that one. I wanted to cover that. But either way it goes, I was very surprised that we summoned a lawsuit. I said, are we really going to do that tonight? And then here comes Runkle. So shout out to Runkle for making that bingo dream come true. So did we win at all, Kimmie?
So if we had had an alpha sighting, maybe. But no, we did not win.
Okay. We're far.
What do you mean from afar? We can't see him.
No, I said, are we far from winning? There's no way or else we could have won.
Well, do you want me to show you?
Yes.
We can hang. Okay, I have to re-share my screen. I didn't have it together.
Oh, okay.
We only had there was one missing from one row. Yeah, there you go.
We are not hitting the like goal, y'all. We are at 85 likes. I shouldn't have.
What was the like goal?
It was 100. The like goal was 100. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do. But right now we are at 85. We're 15 down, and I'm pretty sure everyone watching the live has hit the like button because you guys are amazing like that. But we are far from the like goal tonight. Runkle says, I'm probably going to go over the other motion tonight, and that'll be ages. And hey, chat summoned me. Did they really call you?
Like, we're talking about the hot sauce, because this is when we were talking about spicy stuff, and they were like, Runkle drinks hot sauce by the bottle, like, or something like that. And the next thing you know, it was like, Runkle is like,
oh, I didn't even see those comments going because I was just reading, huh? Oh, yep. There was the spicy food conversation. I missed that whole conversation. Chat be having a whole party without me. I'm not even invited. One day I should just sit in the chat.
No, because you know what? You're like the host of the party. Like, we were talking about this. You're the party host. And you know how the host is always like doing things they don't really get to enjoy the party, you know?
Yeah.
And they're kind of like tired after, but everybody's had a good time. You're like the party host, you know?
Okay. I set the scene. I invite the people. Okay, I got that.
You got the hors d'oeuvres with the topics, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
we got it. It was a fun stream. But thank you everyone for joining the live stream. We hope to see more members next time. This was a members live stream. And just to remind everyone, we now have a Larva Bri Hive membership.
We got to rename that.
You don't like it?
Larva? That is very nerdy. I absolutely love it.
Is that not what you call it?
Okay.
Well, isn't oh wait, bees. I don't know what bees. I was
Isn't
thinking
a
butterflies. I was thinking
there
like
I mean,
beehives?
I'm sure it's accurate. It's just like,
I just said
Yeah.
I think they're called
Like-
larvas, but maybe they're not.
that's fine. Be a proud larva, y'all. Like,
Oh, Bri, can I respond to this question from earlier? Oh wait.
Which one?
Pleasure virtually meeting you tonight.
so there was a question from earlier slash comment that somebody mentioned when things were getting spicy in the chat, and I thought I was gonna have to be like, hey, let's stop talking about this because this is Bri stream and we don't want to get too deep into like racism talks or whatever. But
Mhm.
these are a couple of things that somebody asked about, so I'm gonna just show y'all. Hopefully if you can replay this and take a screenshot if you want. This one is called Pedagogy of the Oppressed. This one is called The Meaning. It's really dirty. I apologize. The Meaning of Freedom by Angela Davis. It's a really short read. It's like a collection of essays. I prefer books that are a collection of essays because neurospicy, ADHD. Sister Outsider. This one, I don't actually know if it's out because I got this from a bookstore. But if it is, why anti-racism and something. Again, just take a screenshot. I don't want to take up too much of Bri's time. And then this one, An Afro-Indigenous History of the United States. Solid. Like if you really want to learn about like indigenous peoples, like Bri mentioned earlier, how people think Black people don't have a culture or Black Americans don't have a culture, and all of that stuff. Like this is a really good one. So the Afro-Indigenous History of the U.S. is a really solid one. So yeah, I don't want to go too deep into it because like I said, this is Bri stream, but just to respond to some questions I got earlier.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. And so, just to let you know, Kimmie, it is called larvae for multiple baby bees.
You said it right though. Larva's correct too.
Same
Spelled like
thing.
that.
Larva
Yeah.
or larvae or pupa is the other option.
Let's stick with larva.
That's
Let's
fine.
stick with larva. You can call them like baby bees or like you got baby bees, toddler bees. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have a problem with larva, but I'm a nerd. Like, so I don't know. Like I'm a geek. So
I mean, we can.
Here, okay.
I'm outvoted. That's cool. It's just like in my mind, I'm like, oh, like Bri Hive, MVB. Like we have all these cutesy, and then but also be a larva.
It's the larva Bri Hive. It's like the baby Bri Hive. I don't know. It's like tears because you're supposed to step up, right?
You're right. Proud larva. I love it.
Are you a nerd, Bri? Are you a nerd?
I may or may not have watched The Bug's Life.
Were you one of the cool kids growing up, or were you a nerd?
I was a mix of everything. I was like top of the class always, and you know, I did cheerleading, so I was like popular too.
Wow. Okay.
I was everyone. I was cool with everybody. Okay.
You went to high school in Sac in Northern California?
In Northern California, but not Sacramento. In the Valley.
Oh,
Not the Valley, but the.
I was gonna ask which high school because I know all the Bay Area high schools, but I don't know any.
I'm not in the Bay Area, no. Yeah. But anyway,
when you said cheerleader but nerd, I was like, that's not a lot of schools, aren't like that. But if you were able to be like cool cheerleader but also nerd,
yeah, girl, that's literally what my valedictorian speech was about. Graduating from Gremlin because.
Okay.
Yeah,
this explains a lot, Bri. I just learned like more about you in the last 30 seconds than I feel like I have the entire time I've known you. Valedictorian, Grambling, cheerleader, top of class.
And I was the stepmaster at Gremlin. That's why people were like, "You're the valedictorian. How
Also,
did you have time to do your homework?" Yeah,
I feel like I know you. I have a complete picture of you now, aka Grambling, nerd, cheerleader, top of class. Okay, lawyer. Yeah. Got it. Okay, got it.
So I'm a little mixture.
Yeah, you are. You're one of the few people I can actually say I think you are a mix of like cool but also nerd. Yeah.
My mom said, "Is your valedictorian speech about having two personalities or being bipolar?" Like, no,
not two personalities.
Yeah, but either way it goes, yeah, no, I could party, I could study. I could do it all. Anyways, y'all, that's the end of the live stream. New tier for the membership. It's $199. It allows you, I guess everyone plays the Bigo game now, so I'm gonna have to find out what are the other features of being in the new membership tier.
Yeah, I misunderstood like how it worked for giving some like extras. We can still do a perk where like Bri Hive members can get extra bingo cards,
Mhm.
especially if in the future we're not going to have everything on everything. I forgot. I haven't played bingo in so long. I forgot. I just put in 25 squares and was,
Yeah.
Also, you might want to check because somebody tried to gift some tiers for the lower memberships and wasn't able to. I don't know if that's a setting. I don't know how that works. But Kimmie, I don't know, whoever handles the membership, somebody was trying to gift a
I think
membership
it's
and
just
couldn't.
in the chat. I never know. People always have to tell us how to do it, and I don't know what it is. But either way it goes. Like I said,
Word.
that's the end. This is the end, okay? This is the end of the live stream. Thank you
Sorry.
everyone for joining us live. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and I will see y'all all on the next live stream. Bye.